Welcome to this picturesquely putrid place, oozing with filth, garbage, and planetary fluid, known as the crust. It's a complex cluster of cruddy communities inhabited by diverse and disgusting dwellers, each malformed with a myriad of messy mutations. Just normal folks trying to pick their way through the day, popping pus-filled problems, overcoming obscene obstacles, and filling time with their filthy friends. But it's not all farts and flicking boogers here. The crust is filled with fabulously fetid fiends of all shapes, sizes, and secretions. If an RPG where the goal is gross causes your stomach to squirm with speculation, then it's time to pop some zips and fling some chips on whatever earwax encrusted enemies and turgid traps the collector throws at you in Repugnant, the world's most disgusting RPG.
Wormy babies in here.
Live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content actual play channel, playing our game, the collaboration between Plus One EXP and Terrible Games, Repugnant RPG. I see a bunch of you guys quacking in the chat. Give me just 1 second to get that set up. Chatbot needed an update that I had to run so that I can give you guys some amazing Black Rainbow dice. We're going to talk about Black Rainbow dice a couple of times throughout the course of the night, but yeah, in just a second, you'll be able to win a free dice kit from Black Rainbow, which are my dice of choice. We also might be talking about some other special Black Rainbow projects that are coming up towards the end of our broadcast here. But if you found us from Quackalope, quack at us. If you found us from somewhere else, tell us how gross you are. We are going to be playing Repugnant, which is the world's most disgusting ttrpg. And I'm going to let you hear about who everybody is. I hate GMing and running stream at the same time because there are 50 billion things I need to be doing right now, and I can only do one of them at a time. My name is Tony Vicinda. You can find me at Tony Vicinda across all social media platforms. I'm the chief alchemist here at Plus One. We're a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our real hope and desire is to help individuals find amazing games that they want to play and help designers find amazing people who want to play their games. So you can follow us here on Twitch, hit us up on YouTube, or slide over to our website and buy some of our bespoke beard bombs or our past games also too. But you didn't come here to hear me talk. You came here to watch us play some games. So let's meet the other people we are playing with. We're actually going to start out with my co-creator and collaborator on this project, John DeCampos. John, tell people who you are, what you do, and a little bit about why you're excited to play Repugnant.
Hello, I am John DeCampos. I am an illustrator and part owner of Terrible Games. I also am on a podcast / live performance thing with Phil called Whose Rolls It Anyway? That's all about fantasy and comedy and improvised stuff. I'm jazzed because we've been brewing on this little poop baby for what, 4 months?
Yeah.
I mean, this is all kind of this zit is coming to a head and it's ready to be popped. So, we finally get to see what's inside. I'm excited.
I am also. Let's cruise right over next to the other team member from Terrible Games who's with us today, and that is Phil. Phil, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and why you're excited to get gross tonight.
Oh man, I am so excited. I'm Phil Docolo. I work with Terrible Games, game designer, and as John mentioned, yeah, we have Whose Rolls It Anyway, a D&D inspired improv podcast as well. Run a local metal label in Baltimore, Grimoire Records, and do lots of fun stuff. And I am excited to get gross. I've been working with John for a long time, but have had nothing to do with this project except for seeing all of the art through all the development and how awesome it's been and how excited he's been. And everything I've heard has just been, it sounds great. I'm real excited.
Awesome. That is sweet. I'm so glad to have you with us. So glad to actually finally meet in virtual person also too. I do see that some of our name stuff are mixed up. I'm going to fix that in just one second. Chat, thanks for letting me know. We're going to keep on going up to a special guest we have here with us tonight. First time on the stream. Also not a member of any of the people who helped to design this game. We've got Vic with us. Vic, go ahead and tell people who you are, what you do, and how people can find you online.
Hi, I'm Vic. I'm a professional DM. I also do a bunch of illustration work as my day job, and I can be found at Dice Drinks and Drama, and also at Major Tomorrow.
Awesome. Sweet. And then Alex, tell people who you are, what you do, and where they can find you online, and take a little bit so I have some time to, move all this stuff around.
You got it. Hi, I'm R. Alex Murray, cosmic traveler and seeker of truths. I'm a Brooklyn-based actor, comedian, podcaster, children's musician, bartender, and jack of many nonsenses. I do this month for sure. I've been doing a whole lot of streaming with Plus One EXP, which has been a lot of fun. And we also started Tony's other game, Beards and Beyond, one of his other games. I am now part of the ongoing campaign where I'm going to be playing Vernon Buddy Visor, a bearded golf pro who was sucked into the Whiskerverse and had to find his Nana. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm all over the internet at R. Alex Murray on, all the normal ones. And then if you want to see my houseplants, you can follow me on Pinterest. You can just Venmo me money there too. That's always cool. Quack, quack, I guess. I don't know what y'all do, but I bet I like you. And let's see. Oh, you know what? I'll plug Child's Play as one of my many podcasts where my buddy Adam and I are listening to all of the Kids Bop albums from one till they stop making them, and it is awful. And every other week we listen to the next in order, and then we bring one of our updated and fixed bops. You can just search for our version of WAP anywhere. It's very good. Was that long enough, Tony?
That was actually perfect timing. I think, chat, let me know if I got everybody in the right position. Also, if you type !gross into the chat, you're going to get entered into a chance to win this. We do have people from Quackalip coming in and quacking at us. Keep those quacks coming. If we get, let's say 40 people watching, we're at 27 right now. If we get 40, we'll give away a copy of Beards and Beyond also to tonight as well after the break, and we'll do quacks for that. And so we are. Do you want to see the digital stutter, or is it just me? I don't know. I digitally stutter sometimes. You also might be seeing this sixth thing right in the middle. This is the thing called the heap. This is part of the mechanics for how Repugnant works. It is a D2 system. So I have these homemade D2s because the custom ones that are part of the game are still coming. There's also printable ones that'll be in the back. But you do throws instead of rolls on this, and you actually throw them so that they land on this sheet. The way that they land, the number of things showing, the different symbols that they land on, all matter. So certain rolls might be a flop, at which point I drop them like this. Other rolls might be a fling, which means from off screen, I'll toss them like that and see where they land. And then there is also the option to flick, which is putting them on my thumb and flicking them like that onto the sheet. It takes a little bit longer than some of the other ones. It depends on what kind of move. Hero says their phone jumps when they watch my channel. I don't know. Maybe my stream is unstable. It's happened before. Tonight, we're going to be going down into the Etchies Hole. This is the world premiere of the game. We were doing a little bit of character keeping right beforehand. We didn't quite finish it up before we needed to go live, so we're going to be doing that right now. We had a couple people. So, Alex, I think we got you all squared away, right? You've got your SCUS index set up. You've got everything else set up. Vic, I think
my feet's are ready to go.
Yeah, I think we've gotten most of yours done. I'll give you guys a kind of a taste, everybody out there watching, of the character sheet so that you get a chance to kind of know what we're talking about. This is Vic's character sheet. We were just going through. That's some art that John DeCampos had did. Oh, I will not lean away, Billy. Don't worry. I'll stay right here. This is Vic's character sheet. Vic is playing, is it Drux? Is that right, Vic?
Yeah, it's Drux.
Drux, which is a vermin garbage man, so rat person who is attuned to the garbage around them. This is kind of our cleric, paladin, trash elementalist type character. We figured out your scuzz and your magnitude, but I don't think figured out what items you have with you. So the key thing that a garbage man or garbage person will always have with them is they will always have their armor and a helmet. They wrap themselves up in armor, which is one of your abilities. So you do have that. You can mark it in your stuff, but basically you can remold it if it gets broken or hurt or other stuff like that. It helps protect you constantly. You also are going to get to rubbish dive a couple of times, but you also start out with a rusty first aid kit as well that has 3 uses on it if you want to go ahead and mark that. And then we are going to give you a couple more items real quick also too. We're going to go dumpster diving, which is just a little sheet. I'm going to tell you the type of item you're getting. You're going to write down what it actually is on your sheet, and then when they come up, you'll be able to kind of let me know what they are. So we're going to do that process for you, and then we'll go through and make sure that the other guys are squared away. And this is why I hate running streams and DMing at the same time, because I got 15 things open. All right, so we got 1122. 1122 is you've got something that holds liquid also. Whatever that thing is, you tell me. You've got something sharp also too. And then you've got, something at the other end. Something that you can use as a tool. So you decide what those items are. Go ahead and write them down in your sack on your stuff, and we're going to get everybody else kind of squared away. John, tell me again, what type of character were you playing? Let the beautiful people know.
I am playing a Hoggo pizza face named Dingus Dipshit.
Gus to his friends.
Yeah, Gus. You guys can call me Gus. My full name is Dingus.
Oh, dang it. You guys, for some reason, people keep on moving around. I don't know what's going on. Well, our faces and stuff are just going to be out of order. You guys will have to look at us this way. I apologize, everybody out there watching. I don't know why my computer is being as bizarre as it is. Look at it. It's working again now. I don't know. There we go. We're all set in the right place again. Okay, so you are a Hoggo pizza face. So you are a giant hog person. John, tell people a little bit about the inspiration behind the Hoggos.
I gravitate towards pig people for some reason. I think there's something cool about them. I'm working on another. I'm doing art direction on an online card game called Battlegrid Champions, and we call them porks, and that one with a Q. I'm just trying to put pig people in things. I don't really know why. I can't explain it. I think maybe I'm projecting a little bit. I'm a big fat guy, so maybe I want there to be powerful fat people in the things that I make.
Awesome. So you are a Hoggo. So there's kind of 2 basically parts of the stats that we're going to look at. That's your race and your mutation. For the Hoggos, you are going to get.
I got the Tusker Tooth ability where I can like take a thing and turn it into another thing in a weird way. And then I also am completely free of shame. So whenever I'm asked to make a shameful throw, I can just substitute that for a different scuzz index instead. And I just have to explain what I'm doing.
So you're going to get +1 revulsion to start, which most of your scuzz comes from your actual mutation. So +1 revulsion, and then you're going to get 3 meat and 0 feet.
Roger that.
All right. And then from being a pizza face, so tell us a little bit about the pizza faces, John.
The pizza faces are like these zit covered like ghouls kind of who they have just accumulated all this like crud and stuff all over their faces, and they carry around this like insulated pizza delivery bag of toppings that are just select pieces of junk and crap from around the landfill that they use to toss together quick passing glance disguises so that they can like intermingle into areas where they're not supposed to be or sort of faded in the shadows and kind of disappear. But with the zits, all of the stuff on their face with the zits, they have these zits that have like weird either attack-based or like alchemical properties. So like these massive pustules in their shoulders, they can squeeze out like a totally devastating blackhead and like knock somebody out.
So you are going to get +2 revolting, +1 disgust, and +2 shame on your scuzz index. And then you can pick 1 more point to go ahead and level up. We're letting people play at slightly higher levels so we can showcase a little bit more of the system. So go ahead and add another scuzz point anywhere you want to.
Oh.
And then
I'll-
you're also going to get +1 meat and +2 feet, which are your HP/body and your movement abilities.
So do we fill in the little the zit squirt on the character sheet? Do
the
we
zit
fill in the little
squirt alongside that? You're gonna fill that out with as many points as you have in the stat.
Okay, cool.
So for anybody who didn't see that, we've got these kind of little scuzz index here, and these little pop things are the points for your scuzz.
How many times did the two of y'all just stop while you were designing this game and go like, "What are we doing?"
Guess what? Not one time.
Awesome.
I did a couple times. I have to write things down, and there's sometimes not the most enjoyable things to write down. But John and
I love it. John powers it. Yeah, you got it.
So John, your starting rubbish is you got a reinforced pizza box.
Yep.
You got some greasy clothes. You've got everybody's got a bag to start with. You've got one small burperware container.
Mm-hmm.
And then you only get one fling on the rubbish table. Let's see what else you got. Do some dumpster diving. We got 1, 2, 1, 1. So basically, there's a table of kind of descriptive terms that people get a little bit of extra starting stuff. And we just toss the chits to see what they get. So 1, 2, 1, 1 is going to be something you can use to heal one time. So this started out as moldy bandages, but it can be whatever you want it to be. I just felt like it was more fun to leave it a little bit open and let people decide what trash they have. All right, Phil, what are you again? One more time, tell me.
Okay, I am a roacher, and my class is an olfactory, and my name is Duty Poot Poot.
I love it. So roachers are human roach hybrids. No one knows why anybody decided to do that. You get +1 shame.
Okay.
+0 meat.
Mm-hmm.
And +3 feet. And then you are an olfactori. You're going to be extra squishy. To start out with, you get +1 revulsion, +3 disgust, and +1 shame in your scuzz index.
Okay.
And you're going to take that extra point that you get to pick and put anywhere you want to for having leveled up at least one time and bought that. And then you're gonna get +1 meat and +1 feet.
+1 meat, +1. Okay.
So I think
cool.
you have a hit point.
Yeah, there we go. I'm chitinous though. So there's
and
that.
so let's see. Do we have chitinous on that character sheet?
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm just saying I'm not very meaty, but I'm
Yeah, you're not very meaty, but you got a little bit of a carapace. Excellent. So that is everybody's stuff. So, we got to figure out your stuff though, Phil. I'm sorry, I almost gave you no stuff.
It's all right. I'll figure it out.
He's like, I'm used to it. You have a smelly cloak. You
Nice.
have a gas mask. I want to clarify. This is so you can inhale your own gases, not
I'm so
exclusively. Like it's So you have a moldy satchel, and then you get 3 fit flings on the rubbish table. Let's see what you got. We've got 2, 1, 2, 2. So you've got 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Something sticky.
Great.
Tell me what it is.
Oh, I have to tell you what it is.
You don't have to tell me right now. You can write it down, but you have something sticky you can pull out at some point.
Gotcha. Good to know.
You actually have 2 sticky things.
Yes.
Come on, baby.
Times
3
2.
sticky things. Oh, that's sticky stuff.
2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1. Something that whacks. So some sort of club or
2 sticky things and something that whacks.
you heard me.
Wonderful.
Something you could use to hit someone with, basically.
Pretty good. we know why that cloak's so oily now.
Oh man, this is great.
His is just stinky. And so,
But whatever.
No, it's
Stinky
oily too.
oil.
No, it's oily.
I'm the one who's greasy.
By the way,
Nice.
before we get into playing, there's a link at
Hey,
the bottom
mine's
that
rusty.
is a link that'll take you straight to the Kickstarter campaign. If you haven't backed yet, here's what I would ask you to consider. Maybe you love this game, maybe you don't. One of the things we're trying to do over the course of the next 72 hours, we're not worried about the dollar amount we get to. I mean, we'd love to get to a bazillion dollars, but that's not what we're worried about. Right now, our major thing that we're doing, everybody the other day sent John a selfie of themselves, and he made character art specifically for their characters. So right now on the screen, you can see Phil's character from his selfie to what John turned it into. If we get to 275 backers, we are going to make character art for all the combinations of races and mutations inspired by the selfies that people post. So you can post it to any social media platform using the hashtag #repugnantmug and then linking to the ttrpg.link /grossrpg, and we will pick 20-ish of those pictures. If we get to 275 backers, we will create 20 more drawings that are inspired by the art of the different people who posted out about that. So if you guys can get out there, help share, use the hashtag #repugnantmug, go to the link that's right below all of our beautiful faces to help people find the game. Again, that's ttrpg.link /grossrpg. Just trying to get to 275 backers. They could be for $1, they could be for $300, they could be for $15 million. That's all we're looking for, is just that level of help. So if you can help share this event right now to help people find the game, we do want people to understand this is actually an earnest RPG. It is full of gross stuff. It is full of gross art. It is not a joke. Like we are playtesting the beta rules right now. We'll play this a little bit more, and those will go into being the final rules for the game. And it's phenomenally fun. There's pieces we pulled from a couple different places. It's a unique D2 system, but even if it was just for the art that John has done that is going into this thing, like, it is worth backing it at the digital level, or $1 just to help get it all out there. So if you can go back the game on Kickstarter, we'd appreciate it. Share it with friends. We'd appreciate it. They might think less of you afterwards. And again, if we can get up to 40 people on stream tonight, we'll give away a copy of Beards and Beyond, my game from last year. But no matter what, we're going to give away some Black Rainbow stuff, and we'll talk about why we love Black Rainbow a little bit later. But let's play some Repugnant RPG. For the conceit of the narrative solely, we're going to assume that y'all have been traveling across the crust for a little while, that you know each other. But I'm going to have you go ahead and, as we kind of crest over a giant heap of trash. Oh, by the way, something I need from you, chat. I need you to constantly tell me different types of trash and gross things that you would like to have appear in what we're doing. Just type them in. It can be smells. It can be things. They can be big. They can be small. Any gross thing that you can think of, go ahead and type it into the chat. If it would be found in a giant dumpster of a world, let us see what they are. And I will include some of them as we go through, and some of them might even make it into the final version of Down the Etchies Hole, which is what we're playing right now. So y'all are going to be adventuring across. You guys have been adventuring across the crust for a while now. You've known each other for a bit. Whatever your feelings are about each other, we can explore during play. But I'm gonna give you a little bit of an opening scene, and then I want you guys to tell me, introduce your characters to our audience and each other as they kind of crest over the hill, coming to this small little town that is in dire needs of help. That we'll get to know a little bit more in just 1 second. But it is a hot afternoon on the crust, and there is a delightful miasma of old greasy socks, burnt tires, and the smell of underwear that has been worn for far too long, that is just surrounding every single aspect of things. That well-baked aroma of the crust in the afternoon. Y'all have been walking. It's been a long, hard day, and you've crested the last hill to this town that I forgot to grab a name for, because that's what I do. This small town and as you look down below you, it's just a few streets. There's a few hovels thrown together. There's a couple buildings that are multiple stories. You see what looks like a watering hole down at the far end, the kind for dwellers, not just for the beasts that also slake across the crust. You're parched, and it's been a long day. And you know that there is work here in this town. Let's flash real quick while I quickly come up with a name for this town. To each of y'all, go ahead and introduce your characters to me. Tell me who we see and a little bit about them. Does anybody want to go first?
I think Drax. Oh, okay. Sorry. You can go first.
Well, after you, but I'm Dingus Dipshit. Just here trying to find my missing brother. After my dad retired from rodeo clowning down at the junkyard, taught me the ways of deception and taking on different faces. I figured I might be able to track him down, and what do you know, it led us here. I kind of knew it was the Yeki this whole time, but all of my leads have come up dry, so this is kind of my last hope.
Awesome. What does your character look like?
I'm wearing like an Iron Maiden Wicker Man t-shirt. It's got like a bunch of holes in it. I have like a hat that I don't really wear because it's so damn hot all the time, so I wear it stuffed in my back pocket. And I got some camo shorts that are also just basically threadbare, not much left. I got one sock on my right foot and a half-eaten up Reebok high top on my left foot.
Awesome. Who do we see next?
I guess I'll kind of come out of the woodwork. I'm Drux. I'm Vermin. I've been a garbage man for a really long time, but my main priority is the dog shit in the entire area. People leave it out. They don't ever pick it up. I've collected almost a giant collection at this point that I'm just going to start blocking people within walls. But like that's a total side plan. I have missed part of my ear because I got in a fight with one of the dog as they were laying down, their goods. And outside of that, I like these 10 hats. I usually keep them, and it's an aluminum cap that you usually tend to find with takeaway. And I keep replacing them because I always lose it, and it's a huge deal for me. I'm very short, but I'm also very tall compared to it matters who I'm talking to. Sometimes I'm a really tall guy, sometimes a really short guy, but really I'm only about like 4'11", give or take a few inches of trash. I've seen a lot here, but it's my one mission to clean up all the dog shit.
Yeah, you got to watch out for those excrementors are a real pain in the ass.
I agree. It's rough out here.
Awesome. Let's hear from our Alex Murray. Our Alex Murray, tell us about your character and what we see as we kind of pan across them.
Hello, I'm Hawkland Alistair Luget of the Connecticut Luget. Friends call me Hawk. I'm the sort of very tall but slouching meat sack. Long dreadlocks, just full of bones and chicken wings and yes, more bones and some feathers. A lot of bird-based ephemera in my hair. Big nasty beard. I'm also a Slymore, so you will notice that my left nostril is clearly my dominant nostril, and is what I use to, all my power flows forth from the old lefty, as I call him. Everybody back home, all the kids growing up back in Connecticut, we're always like, man, Hawk, you're always talking about the Yeti, the Yukti. What do we call this guy? That's
a Yeti.
Depends on what part of the country you're from.
Yeah, what area you're
that
from.
Connecticut accent, man. But the Yeki, yeah, they were always on me saying it wasn't real, and I'm just out here trying to prove them wrong. And if you give me a good look up and down, you'll notice that I am wearing a very soiled but clearly bright pink male romper.
Excellent.
So meat sacks are known for matting like important things from their life journeys and experiences so far into their hair. What is one special item that Hawk has?
Whole bunch of concert tickets from Flush, the famous jam band Flush, Phlush. I followed them around on tour for a while. They're pretty cool, man. And then I've got like I've got just like a whole bunch of pucka shells in the beard too, from every beach I've visited, man.
Wow.
Just pretty excited
awesome.
to see this Yeki, man. Just can't wait. Prove them all wrong.
Phil, introduce us to your character.
Yes. My name is Duty Poot Poot, and I come from a particularly savage intrusion of roaches where only the smelliest survive. I beat out all of my family, my brethren, to become the smelliest, and therefore earn the right to travel the wastes and search for other smelly creatures and challenge them to smelly offs, which I thoroughly win with my terrible stench. It is my pride. And oh yes, I am always wearing my smelly cloak, which is my prized possession. I also have a bandana around, but it's slaked in feces, and it smells amazing to me. I also am not wearing any other clothing over my hard carapace, but I do have a bandolier of smelly objects that I've found that I like to keep close to my chest and my face so I can smell them. And they include, used diapers and rancid food and whatever awful to other people items I can find.
Awesome. And I do want you guys to know, you are walking, I mean, anybody watching also too, essentially the crust is about 3 to 4 miles deep at any point across the surface of what used to probably be thought of as the earth. And so at any point y'all want to, if you're like, man, I really wish I had this thing, you guys can opt to dumpster dive, and we'll see, there is a chance you can find it. So there are some other narrative ways to do that. They're not necessarily like super useful items that you're find, but if there's a certain type of thing you're like, I'd like this, you can always take a chance by dumpster diving just to see if you can find it. So just
loot
FYI.
the world, loot the whole world.
It's like reaching under
it's
the.
Not.
Under
It's
the
not so
ring
much
in
post-apocalyptic.
the
We can talk about some of this in the reaction roll at the end. It's more like the apocalypse never happened. The world just kind of wound down and got really filthy. And so there's no like world-ending event, and everybody just still kind of gets through the day.
Just hubris.
It's not gonna be a world-ending event. This is how it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Just insane hubris. Yeah,
Almost there.
Filth rises slowly.
So as you guys crest this final heap, and we've got some good smells here. As you stumble past the an open refrigerator with a rotting animal carcass inside, and slide down the side of this heap, past a mound of baby diapers, green puke, and wrappers with their sticky sides all out. You guys come to this town of Stink Punch Ridge, the town of Stink Punch Ridge. Alex, did you need something?
No, that was me just tasting a little bit of the filth. And sort
Just
of
getting a little bit. The town of Stink Punk Ridge has been on hard times, and they have sent the word out across this region of the crust that they are looking for people to come help them with a problem. A number of the town guardsmen, which is really more like a city watch. It's a village of about 50 people, give or take. Kind of rural area. They're really just folk who help kind of keep things safe and keep the wild animals out. A couple of them have gone missing a few weeks ago, and they were worried about it. But then recently, a number of teenagers went out near the tire stacks that make up the ridge that overlooks this village. And half of their number, of the 6 teens that went, half of their number are missing. And the teens came back tremendously terrified, haven't been able to be consoled. They had a number of injuries, and only one of them is conscious, and they're fairly non-responsive so far. So they just put out the call like they needed help. And so each of you have come here for your own reasons. Dingus it sounded like the experience that he had when his brother went missing. Hawk, you think it might be the Yetchi. And then Phil and Duty and Drux, there's always dog shit wherever you go. So and there's always people to challenge to a smell off. So there's really no reason not to just, go with your friends to try to figure out if this is the Yeki or if this is just, a small town in need. So as you crest the hill and you kind of come down onto Main Street, what do you want to do?
just a very quick point of order. Are there is the town full of one of our like race, or are there just sort of folk?
It's a good question. As you look around, you see most of the people you see it seems to be a mix of mostly vermin and hoggos. So which a lot of times in kind of the more outlying town, that's a pretty common mix. Vermin are really good at getting into small spaces, kind of getting everything that they possibly can out of the resources of the crust. And with the kind of the incredibly creative nature of the hoggos and their ability to use garbage in various different ways, they also oftentimes gravitate to unsettled areas also too. And we'll kind of see this symbiosis, but you can see there's a couple other meat sacks here. You also do see that there's a group of 5 roachers who are off in the distance. It looks like they're messing with something, off towards the edge of town. As you come down the hill, you can kind of see them in the distance. Out here, it's also not uncommon, though you don't see any right here, to encounter a junk punk. Like junk punks are relatively new on the crust, and they're not super populous, but you have not seen any of them yet.
I've never seen one. I'm waiting. I think they're cool from what I've heard. I've never seen one though.
I think I saw one in the distance one time, but it might have just been trash,
Yeah. You guys want to go grab a drink? I could definitely drink something. I feel like my zits are starting to decrease in size.
Yeah,
I would love to grab a drink, but I would also like to do the first thing that I do when we get to any town, which is to help my friend Drux find any dog shit that might be nearby in this town. So I would actually like to use my first disgust point to do my scrutinizing sniff to see if there's any dog shit within the vicinity that we can find.
You can use a disgust point if you want. You also just make a disgust roll first to see if you. I mean, like there's dog shit all over the place. So if you're just looking for dog shit.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, then fine. Then I just I sniff it out.
Okay. So how many points do you have in disgust?
Oh, I got 4, baby.
Okay, so this is you're basically trying to like analyze the aromas to see if there's disgust. So the way that throws work in this game is you're going to use typically one of your stats boosted by any accompanying skills. You can also spend points to just do some stuff. But if a throw is required, we're going to start with, okay, what is the type of thing it is? If it's a mental action, it'll be disgust. If it's a physical action, it'll be revulsion. If it's a social action, it's going to be shame. Typically, meat and feet come in when like speed and combat and other stuff like that primarily matters. And then if it's an intelligent action that's not like super overt or direct, it's usually going to be a fling, which means I'm going to take the number of points you have in your index, and I'm going to fling them onto the heap, which is this thing that everybody can see over here in the middle. Usually the player would do this, and y'all can't see it, only I can, but the audience can see me and they can keep me honest also too. And so we're going to fling it from about 18 to 24 inches away, and how many land up or down will tell you about tells a little bit about the dog shit that you...
Yeah, I just want, if there's like a high concentration of it somewhere that we could like address it.
They're really primo poo. We're looking for the good stuff.
Yeah. So you guys actually find like there is, as you're coming into town, there is just a pile of dog shit right here. Like it's like stink punch, ridge like sign that's just made from a bunch of random assorted trash, and they're almost as if it was a greeting bag is just a giant pile of dog shit as you come into town right next to this post. Whether somebody brings their dog out here, or whether this is where they come and drop it off, or whether this is their way of greeting people to stink punch, you don't know. It could be any or all of those things.
It's just like a poo pile of destiny right there. Look at that.
That's a fine how do you do.
Yes, to add to my cloak of journeys and smells, I will rub some of this dog shit on my cloak to add to its smell. And and here's some shit to clean up, I guess.
I thought that we were mostly like eradicating it, but if you're gonna rub it on you too,
Well, just a little bit.
Just a little, but like a little's a lot, and it goes a long way. You don't know. Now dogs are just gonna start shitting all over you. But it's okay. Like if you're into that kind of thing, go for it. But I should be saying thank you for this, and then Drux just picks up the poo and put it in an area undisclosed to public eyes, just kind of just up in the armor, almost like there's this deposit of poop cacophony in the just inner workings of my armor, you know? Yes. Save it for later.
Excellent.
I also get it not to smell.
So you get this pile and you kind of pick it up and you're dropping these nuggets down, one at a time, getting them inside the armor. It's off the crust, and that's what's important. Anything else anybody wants to do?
If we're looking around for, just look for is there a in charge tent or something like that, or like a hovel that looks more impressive than I'm looking for who might be in charge.
Yeah, so you know that it's actually the head of the guard who put out the call for this.
Okay.
There's not really necessarily a mayor. It's a community safety issue. And so it's like, hey, you actually are the person whose job it is to keep us safe. Everybody else just kind of helps you out. And a bunch of the people who help you out have died. You should do something about that.
Sweet. This fool got a name.
Yeah, his name is. You were told to ask for Crab Slapper.
Yes.
Okay. What do y'all think we go down to the watering hole and see if we can find this Crab Slapper? He's probably sitting down having himself a sip.
Always into it.
So you guys make your way down the street to the watering hole. It looks like it's just there's a couple of shops that look like they're basically just people have popped little countertops outside of their hovels and their homes. It is a mix, right? It's a mix of, there are some places that are nice and well put together. There's some places that are a little bit more run down and just kind of two pieces of slab kind of put next to each other. But this watering hole, as you make your way to it, is absolutely the biggest building in town. And it says it's the name of the place is Booger Drinker. And so
that's excellent. My kind of place. I like to see the nasal culture being represented.
As you guys make your way into the Booger Drinker, it looks like there's about 6 people that you can see around. It's mostly vermin, but there's a meat sack over in the corner. It looks like they're fiddling with something that you can't quite see. And then there's a giant hoggo at the end of the bar, and there is a soul roacher who, as you come in, there's this clanging, almost wind chime like thing above you as you come in. It's just couple pieces of metal that bang together, and you see them climb up on this stool behind the bar. And can I help you?
Yeah, we're looking for Crab Slapper.
Also,
Yeah,
like to collect some boogers.
If you're thirsty, I can take care of that. You want the green, the brown, or the black?
I'll take some black.
Brown.
Green.
Do I know what the difference between any of those things are?
There's 3 giant vats behind him. One of them looks brown, one of them looks black, and one of them looks green. It's not uncommon here on the crust for bars to just have the color denoted, and no, there is no consistency as far as what that means the taste is like.
Sweet. I'll take the house specialty, please.
Gray.
I do like a suicide. Can we get a...
So he hands everybody the drink they asked for, and then does mix the brown and the black together most of the way up, and then tops it off with just a little bit of a green fizz, and it slowly kind of dissolves down, and you see then something jump out of the glass, and then it turns gray.
Yes.
And he slides that over.
Delicious.
Yeah, I crush it.
Yeah. I'm really messy about it too. Just kind of, it's getting all over the place.
Everybody tell me what your beverage tastes like.
Mine tastes like a ground score. It just tastes like something that I picked up from out in a concert lot and put in my mouth. So oil and cigarettes and not self-respect at all. That's for sure.
Awesome, John. Go ahead.
I just scratch and sniff books as a kid, and on the last page there was a guillotine, and I just fucking loved that one picture, and I just kept sniffing it. But then it kind of went in my sense memory forever. So it's the last page, and you just see this guy and all the heads, and it's just that smell. But it's a taste that always stuck with me. I actually almost licked the paper once, but my mom caught me, and my mom was like, "Don't do it," and I did it, and I ate the book, and now I just live with it every day. And I was wanting that so badly for so long.
The black is good. Black tastes like it does back in my hometown. It's kind of a mix between motor oil and some kind of plant-based molassesy sort of viscous liquid. Kind of like bong resin, but you don't get it doesn't fuck you up.
Awesome. That's what everybody wants.
It'll wake you up.
A
It'll
resin
wake you
hit
up in
that
the morning.
doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So Phil, what did you get, the brown?
Oh, I got the brown.
Yeah.
And boy, if this doesn't taste like it was brewed with Band-Aids. It's nothing but Band-Aids, bile with like a very hint at the very end of boogers. So
It tastes like a really good scotch.
oh yeah, it's peaty and it tastes like it was brewed with a robot's bathwater.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you you guys each down your beverages. When he hears his name, you see him gonna. I'm crab slapper. I like officer guard. I'm the one who. Are you guys here to help with the disappearance?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I guess if you came all this way, y'all ever dealt with anything like this before?
Yep.
I mean, like what, my man? Do you have
Missing-
any idea
missing
other
kids?
than missing teens?
Yeah, I mean, like have y'all ever found a person?
I'm trying to find my brother. Can you tell us anything about the abductions? Are there any survivors or anybody from the search party?
Well, search party. Oh yeah. I get. Anyway, yeah. I mean, well, there's the two guardsmen that are gone. They. I mean, we haven't seen hide or hair or snot off of them. You know, they could have just left. I mean, you know, it's you know, people will leave every once in a while. It's not easy out here, but we you know, the teens, they went out, you know, teens, they'll go out on the ridge. We'll tell them, hey, you know, like you could have a tire avalanche. Those things catch on fire. Be careful out there. Like, you know, and they don't ever listen. You know, they think it's fun. They'll go make swings and they'll do tire races and they'll go do all kinds of, you know, stuff. And, you know, every once in a while somebody will get banged up, but you know, 6 of them went out there a little while ago. They were going to go tire sledding and, you know, just drinking some green out there, if you know what I mean. And they, you know, three of them kind of came back. I mean, we found their bodies at the edge of the city. You know, one of them is woken up, but they ain't talking. And the other 3 we haven't seen at all. And they've got some weird cuts all over their body, like nothing I've ever seen.
I have a pretty important question. I'm just trying to get a gauge of what we're dealing with. These kids, like hot, mean teens, or are they more like lovable misfits?
Looks around a little bit. Like 1/3, 2/3.
Sure.
Okay.
So who's missing? Is it like Velma and Shaggy, or like or Daphne and Fred?
It's definitely Daphne and Fred are missing.
Yeah, every time, right? Every time.
Okay.
All right, we got a pretty standard hot teen abduction. Yeah, we dealt with a lot of these back in Connecticut.
Yeah. Well. All right. This is shaking me up a little bit. This is very reminiscent to my missing brother. I gotta find him. Maybe he's there. They're not talking, so we're not going to get any information about what we're up against. But I think we can take them.
Yeah. I gotta be honest.
we don't have a great track record of finding people. We've been looking for this guy's brother for like a really long time, and
True.
but maybe we'll have better luck here.
I mean,
And I'm looking for a mythical beast, so do what you will with that.
what,
Oh
what
yeah, you
kind
ever heard of the Yeki?
those things ain't real.
Nah.
Oh, they are. It only makes sense that an apex predator would be out there in the wilds, and that it has the smarts to stay hidden, but we're gonna find it.
Honestly,
see.
if you need it, man, you need it, and I'm not gonna try to dispute that with you at all.
I'd be willing to bet it was the Yeki who took them kids.
Ah,
Look, if it's a Yeki, you can have my job. If it's a Yeki, I'm out of here. I mean, I would love to think that, and he's like towering over you as he looks down at this small vermin at the small roacher. Roachers are like 1/3 the size of a normal human. Hoggos are like 1.25 times the size of a normal human. It's good. It's like you can have my job if you find a Yeki out there. I mean, for one thing, I won't be here anymore. That's it for me. If that happens, I'm headed back to the the big smog, because that's it's been great out here, but I'm not putting up with that.
Hmm.
I got like one
You
question.
hear that, guys? We can take over this town. All we got to do is prove this guy wrong.
Sweet.
You're kind of quiet about the search party, and I'm kind of wondering why. Like you kind of glossed over that, so I'm kind of worried that like incompetency might be the reason that the teenagers
Look,
are
I
gone.
mean, we got a search search party now. We got a search party now. It worked. My plan worked.
Yeah.
You're here. You're searching.
Are you at least gonna cover our beer now?
I mean, I was already gonna cover your beer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thanks, Crab Slapper.
Had to make sure.
I'll have another brown.
Rounds all around.
Another round of brown.
We got some hammocks out back also too, if y'all need a place to crash.
Oh, that'd be great.
All right.
This
Is
just gets
this,
better and better.
Have we attracted any attention in the bar? Has anybody else?
Oh, all of it. I mean, everybody except for the
specifically
guy.
The meat.
Oh no,
my
they're
brother
still just
meat
messing with
slapper.
whatever they're messing with in the corner.
Okay.
I'm gonna shoot a look to Duty. I'm gonna shoot a look to Duty, and then I'm gonna like point my eyes at the roacher across the room, like, you guys are both bugs. Like, what's up with that guy?
Yo, that's a little racist. I don't know every bug, but I could go find out. Usually, we when we find roaches from other intrusions, we fight. So I don't come across a lot of them out here, but sure, I go see what's up with this guy.
Sorry.
Well, the guy in the corner is a meat sack. The guy behind the bar was a roacher.
Oh,
Okay.
the bartender. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So
I was
Okay,
like, yeah.
I thought there was like a mysterious roacher like in the corner, like just kind of surveying the room.
nope.
I give the bartender 4 high fives with all 4. of them.
Excellent.
The
And you use
Yeah, all
that's the
right.
one time during the course of the adventure that you can do 2 things at once. So you just burn that ability.
yes, 4 high fives. Well, it's fine because now,
That's good. Yeah. So y'all, if there's something you want to do, that's great. I mean, like, let me know. There's no one particular who seems unnerved by you. It's just the weird guy in the corner, the crab slapper, and the roacher behind the bar are happy to chat and give you information.
What hour of the day is it?
Oh, it's like 3 or 4 in the afternoon right now.
Right. So we probably don't want to set out this evening for the mysterious cutting beast. Right? Should we kick it in town, gather information? That's my pitch.
I mean, all the disappearances happen at night. You guys do you.
yeah.
Well,
You're also the Yeki master. You got the most. Do they hunt at night? What's their
good
deal?
point.
Do you think it'd be a good time to find them?
This is where I'm just going to start saying stuff and then hope it's true. Yes, they are known to come out at night. They're much more active, and they're more likely to respond to the call of the Yeki in the evening time. So, yeah.
What's the call of the
maybe
Yeki
you're right.
sound like?
Oh, it sounds like this.
That was excellent.
Did anything happen when I did that? in the like
Every-
that was
every-
that like a
every-
record scratch sound? And
everybody in the room kind of stops and looks at you, except for the weird guy in the corner. He's still messing with.
That's
whatever
cool.
he's
It was
messing
a
with.
pretend Yeki. No worries. No worries.
I mean, I've heard that on the wind a couple times. Are you sure that's what they sound like? I just thought it was some sort of weird, like goose or duck. I've heard a lot of quacking lately.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's hard to for the untrained ear, but I've spent like a whole lot of time studying the lore of the Yeki, back at UConn, and with my bros, and the deep lore says that it was descended from a giant goose made of trash, so it does sound similar.
Wow.
But if you've been hearing that, then maybe friends, you're right. Maybe we should like lay low until the sun begins to set over the crust, and then head out.
I kind of want to check out the loo and see if I can maybe see like what might be around, get an understanding of the locals, really go through the walls in there just to survey. But like, I know that's just a thing for me. I don't discriminate. I know poop leads us everywhere. Like there might be the smears of the stars or something, like a whole cosmology in that loo that might help me out.
Awesome.
I say it's worth a shot.
Yeah, maybe somebody in the town will have some information. Maybe we can talk to the families.
Sure. So Drux, tell me what you're trying to do again, because I love this. I'm happy to go with it.
Okay, I really, really want to go in the bathroom. I'm assuming that this place is like either like has the traditional dive bar / St. Vitus kind of bathroom situation, and I just am not quite sure. And I want to see if I can see any codes or patterns in all the stickers and just the things that people have written on the walls, as well as the trash in the trash can in the bathroom. Also, the slop sink across.
Yeah. So so you head to the bathroom, and it's about 60% what you're imagining. It's 100% the dive bar vibe, except for the toilets are just like on the ground, and they just go into like you can look down in the holes. They're not really outhouses, but there is apparently one giant line of like sewage drainage that runs underneath the entire city, and it's just a straight drop down into that with a toilet shoved over the top of it, which is not uncommon.
Efficient.
What would you say my wingspan is, like, on average? Like, I'm sure things get stuck in there. Like, I'm sure if I just, like, kind of held myself and got down a little bit, I would still be able to grab something, but
you have a prehensile tail that you can wrap around things. So if you want, you also have the ability to dislocate your joints. And so you could probably get your entire body down in there and be suspended underneath if you wanted to.
Also, if you want help, I mean, this is probably maybe something that we do like all the time, right? Like this is your move when we go.
We check out the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the core. It's something that I need to do. It's almost an impulse. Like,
I mean, I have a very stained cloak that may have gotten stained from me lowering you down into multiple toilets with it.
Yeah, I also need to make sure that nobody starts getting aggressively pounding on the door.
Yeah.
So that, like, I need you to cover for me while we're in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Diesel, man. I've got all my everything's in revulsion for me. I didn't create my character live, but that's basically what I got going on. So yeah, we can do that.
Alrighty.
So I mean, you're basic. So vermin are basically the size of like small preteens. So they're very tiny already. You will have
an awkward
to,
7th grader. Yes,
yeah,
gotcha.
You will have to pop a joint out of place in order to get down into here, which is just an ability you have. Tell everybody how that ability works.
Oh, so how's it work? I like how you see it, or how.
Tell us mechanically how it works. Is also that will keep me from having to look up how it works. Also, too, it's on your character sheet.
So at will, while doing this, I can move any one chit
to an adjacent zone on the heap for appropriate revolting throw.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I can move. Sorry, I need to repeat that in a clear voice.
Yeah. So is there a cost listed for it at all?
Yes, it says I may move anyone to any adjacent zone
Yeah.
on the heap for a prop.
So that basically means that when I throw it, you can basically say, no, move that one over here. And if you think it's going to be a better zone for you to be in, I'll tell you where everything lands whenever you do this. So what's your revulsion?
My revulsion is 1.
Okay. Which is great. If you tell me how disgustingly you do this, I'll give you another chit also too.
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me what's disgusting about this experience of lowering yourself down into this toilet.
It's almost as though like as I'm going down, I can see it as if it's a tunnel of dreams, but it's nightmares, and it feels like the transformation scene from American Werewolf in London. Only I'm David, and I'm going down, and the werewolf is the bottom, and all I can see is his fur, his organs, but all of it's actually shit. But the viscera and the fragrance of all of it, as I'm sucking it into my little nose, just becomes a huge, almost lycanthropic transformation. So I become the shit, and the shit becomes me.
Yes. I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 extra for that, because I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not American Werewolf in London transformation team.
Cigarette.
So,
shit.
So you can always get an extra chip by just saying how what you do is gross. If it is particularly masterfully described, then you might get an extra chit also too. So you're going to end up throwing 3, and you're just trying to see what you can see down there, right? That's the plan.
Yeah, I'm really feeling it out. Like I'm understanding the beast that is the bowels.
All right, so you do you had a good throw, so you've got more than enough points to go ahead and see this. But if you want to go ahead and do this, you do have 1 chit that is next to the black bile marker, which would be a much better zone for you to be on for this type of move. So if you want, we can move that over to the black bile marker on the heap, and you'll get some extra insight for that.
Tony, I actually didn't hear a few of the things you just said because
dang it, because I have to lean over when I do this. So you got a more than a good enough throw. You ended up getting 5 hits on this, but also you were right next to the black bile marker, and if we move it over into that black bile marker, you're going to get some extra insight into what's happening in this situation, given the context of the gross. And so normally you would just be able to look at that and say, I want to move it here, because you can't. Everybody got to see me move it though. They were all very excited. Go ahead and get, applaud, chat, applaud. And so you're looking for kind of the way that all the stuff in this bar, as well as the auricular reality of the fecal tubes underneath the city. You're looking to find out what they tell you, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. So you're looking for signs in the filth around what this might be. You notice as you are down here, this seems like it is kind of the starting point of this tunnel for the most part. It seems like all the shit runs downhill from here essentially, and out of the city. But you also do notice that there are a series of holes in the back wall that look like they are large enough for a roacher to fit through normally, or a vermin to fit through in the situation that you are in. If they've popped their joints out, that a vermin could do that. It'd be too small for a hoggo or anything else, but there are small amounts of liquid dripping out of those holes also too, and mixing in with the river of fecal matter and urine that is down below you.
Oh, fantastic. Could I possibly get a sample of this new, almost viscous, like, sludge?
Yeah, absolutely. What are you going to put it in?
I'm going to take my astronomy bag, my urine bag out from where I was hiding it. And I'm just going to drip out a little of whatever I had in it, just leftover juices, and then put it right up to the nozzle, especially the little extremity part that, like, usually source it from. It almost looks like I'm trying to shotgun something, but in reverse. And I lead it up to the hole, and I'm like, come on, and I have to press the bag a little bit to get a little bit of suction going, but it starts to flow out, I imagine, afterwards.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're getting a little bit of mud and muck mixed in with it, but you're able to get a few ounces of this kind of brownish, reddish, viscous fluid that has been dripping out from these holes, and get it up and get a sample of it.
Awesome.
Necromanok says they're keeping sound bites of this as blackmail. So yeah, you're able to get that. There's some especially exciting limericks in the bathroom. There's a couple of like homemade stickers that people have slapped up that are that are useful. They give you kind of a general feel of the town. It seems like overwhelmingly this is a friendly place with a pretty kind of upbeat atmosphere. Simple folk. There does seem to be one set of numerous lines that are some kind of haiku, and they're all about an ancient game that people don't really play anymore called golf. Wow. But you don't really understand most of the imagery from that.
Yeah, you can get the anthropology of a town just from its walls.
Did Flush ever play here? Are there any Flush stickers on the wall?
There weren't when you walked in, but as you turn to walk out, there's absolutely one now.
Oh man, town's full of Flush heads.
So.
I slapped it up.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna finish up the can of or the container of black while Drux was searching the sewers. Approach the meat sack who's been fiddling with stuff and ask him if he knows anything about the cave, about the Yeki's location.
The what?
You see anything, stranger? We're about to head out. We're looking for all the help we can get.
Oh, I've seen some things. I've seen a lot of things. Why should I tell you about the things I've seen?
Because you got 3 of your kind. 3 of the kids of this town are missing. 2 guards gone. You think you won't be next? It could be anybody. It could be your brother.
I mean, I know I won't be next. I keep myself safe. I keep myself guarded.
All right. Well, you mark my words. When we come back here with the Yeki's head on our backs, you'll be thankful. And we'll be thankful too, because that's a good outcome for everybody.
I'll be.
Whoa. How do you feel?
Your
so
heads are
safe
gonna
and
come out
guarded?
the Yeki's backside.
I thought you said you didn't know anything. You can't have it both ways.
Told you, I'm not telling you what I know.
Dude, I have one long nail in my middle finger. I'm just gonna scratch my shoulder, and there's like one little like dime-sized zit. There's nothing harmful in it, but I'm just gonna pop it and aim it directly in that guy's face.
Go ahead and make a shame roll if you want to intimidate this guy.
Yeah, I'll do it. I have +2 shame. I'll use a shame point.
Okay. Oh, you don't have to use a point for this unless you're gonna activate one of your zip pops.
No. This is just a normal.
Unless you want the extra effects that an ability gives you, you don't have to spend the points.
No, I don't. No, I don't want any of that. I just want to hit him in the face.
Rolls
with
just
some
happen.
liquid.
Abilities cost points because they basically take some sort of disgusting energy out of you in order to do it.
Right.
So you take this long fingernail, you scratch it across. You said you got 2?
Yeah.
The all 3 landed on it. Oh, man, that got in my mouth.
Yeah, taste it.
That's some of the worst pus I've had in my mouth this week. Oh.
What's happened to you a lot? I'm a real charmer here.
What do you want?
If you have information, give it up, or I'll pop another one, and this time it'll go in your mouth and your eyes.
Look, I don't know what you are looking for, but I know that there's something out in those hills, and I know that it's not going to get. Hold on. It's not going to get old Sweet Burp here. I'm not going to get taken down by whatever that thing is. I'm going to keep myself safe, and I've got the traps. I got the traps I need to keep myself safe at night, and I'm not going out in that.
You have traps specifically designed to protect you from an unknown entity, or are they?
I have traps designed to protect me from anybody who tries to get into my house at night.
Anybody? Okay. And where do you live again?
Why do you want to know?
No reason.
Absolutely zero reason.
Then I don't know why I would tell you. That just logically doesn't follow.
Oh my god.
All right. I want to breathe. I want to get like real close up to this guy. Like I'm gonna have to like kind of claw up him a little bit because I'm so small. But I want to get like right up in his face and just like tell us what you know and give my hypnotizing halitosis breath right up in his face.
Sweet. So go ahead. So you're gonna use hypnosis halitosis. So go ahead and read out what that does for me.
All right. The stench of your breath claws at the mind of a close target, allowing you to control them. 1 shame is my cost, so
Okay,
I will spend one of my 2 shame.
Yeah, so you'll erase 1 point on your shame track.
Boom. I don't even care about shame. I'm shameless.
When it comes to loving you, sorry, had to do it.
Does it add a chit or anything, or what? It was just 1 shame.
Yeah, just 1 shame.
What's
no
your shame?
shit.
What's your shame index?
After spending that?
No, it's so sorry. What's your magnitude? So what's the big number next to it?
Oh, 2?
What did it start out at? Yeah. 2?
Yeah, 2.
Okay.
Sorry.
Cool. Tell me if you want that extra chit to see kind of how much control you have over this guy. Tell me what your breath smells like, or describe how gross this is to me.
Well, I did just down the rest of that second brown, so you know it's got a hefty aroma again of bile, and I also lick the remaining pus that was near his face off of it to add to the extra stench and get it right back in his face. So he just got the pus in his mouth and got most of it out. Licked what was left there and then just breathed it back in his face. Double pus.
All right. I am aiming for the good thing. I'm aiming for the good things when I flick, by the way.
We believe that. Total faith.
So this guy, all of a sudden, like his eyes kind of go wide as you see him get kind of upset and kind of just disgusted by this smell, and then all of a sudden, like his face becomes placid. He goes, "I live in the small little hole at the end of the street. It's just, I've dug down about 7 feet under the ground. I've got an old dog container that's part of the opening. I just pop that up at night, slide myself in, and it's so warm and toasty down in there, and I just feel safe. And then I put the traps at the front, and then I put the trap by the secret escape hatch in the back. Why am I telling you about my secret escape hatch?
Because we're best friends and you love how I smell.
I love you. Smell so good. You smell just like Mom when she used to hold me close.
Yes. Now tell me more about your traps.
Well, I mean, this one I'm working on here, when they step on it, it sends a bunch of rusty nails up through their foot. But the one I got at the house, there's a little vial of acidic bile from a stink worm that I got nearby, and it'll spray straight in their eyes and it'll blind them, and I just hurt them real good.
Rusty nails and stinkworm bile. That's what I like to hear. You do sound well protected. Now, what do you know about the monster that lives in these hills?
I just know that people have been going missing, and I know that I'm not going to be next.
All right, good.
Old Sweetbert ain't going down like that.
Sweetbert McAllister over here.
Can we ask him if he would actually willingly give us one of the traps? Like, don't make him. I want him to let us
kind of disable them, and we could go
I want
to
him
his
to give
house
us
now that we know
like.
what it is.
I want this guy to be.
I want one of his traps too.
Yeah, I want to take one of his traps, but not because I don't want to steal it. Really, I just want to have it because it'll be helpful, and we want to get rid of the Yeki.
Well, he's clearly an obstinate asshole. I don't think he's going to
True.
give it to us, even if he's hypnotized.
But how do you disable your stinkworm bile trap? And then we can take the stinkworm bile, and maybe that'll help us.
You gotta reach. You gotta just like open up the door part of the way, and you gotta reach your hand in, right? It's just a little wire right there. You just detach it, and then there's some elastic tube, and he explains how to disable it to you.
Sure, great. I say we go to this guy's house, take his yucky traps or his whatever evil traps, and use them on our adventure.
Yep, I'm aligned with that.
Okay, thanks, buddy. Stink burp, you're the best.
No problem. Do you need anything?
Yeah, give us that trap you're working on now. That nail in the foot trap. Give it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Great.
Nail trap.
Rusty nail trap.
We coming back out from the bathroom about at this point?
Oh, you guys were probably back. You guys probably came back out as he was licking that pus off his face.
Perfect.
Dripping down the hallway as we all leave.
Yeah.
And make nothing of
Squirting out.
it. Real proud of what I acquired.
You guys do one of those bathroom things?
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, Drux, I have kind of a cumbersome frame. Would you mind carrying this rusty nail trap that we got from this kind gentleman right here?
Oh, of course. That sounds great. And then Drux like kind of moves their neck a little bit uncomfortably and just tucks it away.
In with the dog.
And then there's just a little bit of a twitch. And then you hear the trap make a slight noise where it sounds like it's closing. But it's fine.
Okay.
Just false alarm.
Woo.
So you guys get that cleared up. He's for the next little bit, he's totally in your sway. So you're not, you're all clear. How he feels.
Want to buy me a round of brown?
Yeah, I mean, brown, just brown. Anybody want anything else?
I mean, I'll try the brown.
All right, round of browns, knock them down.
What are the BYOB kind of things? Like if I order a drink and then add something to it, are you held liable or am I held liable?
What's a liable?
I don't know. It's a word that I picked up one day and I haven't let go of it. I can't really explain it. I think it means your fault, but like I'm not entirely sure. I haven't really used it until today.
I mean, if you put it in and if kind of angles their head over at Crab Snapper or Slapper, if old Crabber over there don't see it, I don't know.
All right.
Down in the brown. Down to,
what are you putting in the brown? That's what I want to know.
Oh, I didn't put anything in there.
It's perfect how it is.
Yeah.
I want to hear everyone describe their totally safe drinks before I describe mine. Don't worry.
I drank some of this Band-Aid juice.
Yeah, I think this is the one that tastes like it was
Lefroy.
brewed Band-Aids, right?
Yeah.
I actually
Band-Aids bile.
I drink about half of it, and then I splash the other half in my hands and kind of rub it all over my head and shoulders.
How about your knees and toes?
Sure.
Gotta stay smooth.
So,
Yeah, gotta stay shiny.
So everybody else drinks down their brown and Drux, what is your brown?
So my brown's there, but then I take the little tube from what I picked up earlier and just squirt a little bit in, just as kind of a rimming for it.
A rimming, eh?
Just a rimming.
Okay.
It's almost like a foam. I even like kind of shake it up a little bit and then just kind of tilt it a little bit and spray the nozzle.
Pinkies
Ooh.
up. Pinkies up.
Giving gastronomy a whole new meaning here.
Yeah, you be around the dirt enough, you know how to improvise.
So yeah, you squirt this in and the entire thing takes on kind of a blood in the poop type appearance.
Woof.
It's not reddish all the way through, but there's definitely some streaks of red in it.
Closest I've ever gotten on a stream to throwing up an X card. That's pretty good.
Monster.
Tell me, the numbers just dropped out on the screen. Like, nope, that's it. Never mind.
Sorry, I'll never say anything.
Howard.
This file.
So you drink it down. Are you trying to achieve anything by drinking this down? Or are you
I'm just trying to see if the kids are maybe mind controlled by some sort of substance. It seems like something's in the water. Like
Gotcha,
teenagers
gotcha.
always something in the water that makes them go out on their own.
Yeah, it's got a kind of coppery smell, like and flavor, kind of like a mildly infected scab that's been bashed open again.
All right. I take a little sip just to see if it's poison, but then I put the rest of the drink down and I'm like, this is just for science.
The numbers did actually drop just like after that last little bit. Apparently we crossed the line. We also discovered one. That's the most beautiful thing about this game. You're gonna discover lines as you go.
Hey, if we're successful, we should drive off like everybody, right? I mean, it's the most disgusting thing. Yeah,
that's true. So yeah, you drink it down. Yeah, it's definitely organic. You don't taste anything that stands out as like a chemical or medicinal or anything else like that to your senses.
Fantastic. So the kids weren't mind controlled, from what I understand. I know this was useless, but I just want you to let you know, like you got to go to the core to understand what's going on.
Yep, got to get down in the grime.
So are we breaking into this guy's house?
Not with his power. Let's roll. We've got his nails.
Yeah, we got his nails.
We've got his bile.
We could disable his trap, but yeah, we could just go out and find whatever's going on outside.
Damn fine cup of streaming just told me that the real challenge appeared in choosing the last 5 minutes to eat cold leftover tacos.
Yes, you're a hero.
You're a hero.
Wish I had
on our way out, I just I sort of like gestured towards Crab Slapper and the bartender. I'm like, y'all know where the parents of those missing kids are? You know where they live?
Well, I mean, they live in different places. You know, most of their houses are on that side. You know, that's where a lot of the younger families live. The school's right behind it. So, you know, we just kind of move people around based on what's convenient. But right now, like they're at the doc's house.
Oh, sure. With the like wounded children, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. You know.
All right.
Cool. Let's
maybe we can swing by there to see if we can get a little bit of information about what might have attacked the kids. You know, if one of them might have woken up, just to get prepared. Because I've never dealt with a Yeki. I don't want to end up dead.
Oh, we got a nail trap, so I think we're good.
A nail trap. And I got this baby right here cooking. I kind of pull down my t-shirt a little bit, and there's this giant softball-sized pustule zit on my shoulder. Just looks like it's like weeping clear liquid. And I'm like saving it up.
Yeah, as I actually meant to ask each of you some different intro questions, and I remember to ask Alex theirs, but one of the ones I think for the pizza face, the most fun one is like, tell us about the zit you have that's ready to pop. Just kind of like break that open right off the bat. I got
this one giant pour that's like a wide mouth can opening, and I just make sure that it's nice and primed. It's ready.
Got some crema on those leftover tacos.
For me, it's like I've got one nostril that never stops, right? So it'll get down, and then like as it's about to hit the ground, I'll go
do the thing
and like pop it right back up. And like I just breathe out of the right one, and my left nostril is all weapon. So it's just like the reserves right there. Yeah.
Right.
There we
go.
Have
one ready, one in the chamber.
Yeah, absolutely.
So y'all make your way over to the doc's house?
Yeah.
It's mostly a tent. Like there's a house on the front side of it, but it's a tent. It's got an old like marijuana dispensary's green cross on the outside of it. As you go in, there is this kind of this haze of kind of smoke in the air, but it does smell more like burning rubber than anything else.
So is there like a thing that I don't want to just walk in there? Is there like a tent post to like knock on or anything?
You guys wouldn't want to be rude. And so we might be gross,
we have
but
manners.
We're not rude. Like, I mean, come on. There's like a little bell outside, there's like a privacy bell like hanging right there. And when I say bell, I mean 2 pieces of metal you can hit together.
Yeah. Right. All right. Yeah, I'll ring the bell. See who comes to the door.
Yes.
We're looking to talk to if any of those kids are woken up. We've been charged with finding the whatever attacked
No,
these kids.
It's fine. It's fine. You're fine. It's okay.
We'd like to speak to the sexiest, meanest teen you've got. Please.
Well, I mean, hold on just 1 second, and you hear the sound of somebody putting their hands over somebody's ears. I mean, really, it's only the uggos left.
Sure. Nice to know that about whatever's taking the teens.
No, I said that you're not ready for any huggos. That's what I said. No, you're fine.
Oh, sure. Well, maybe later when we get to know each other a little better. Thank you.
No, he's you hear him like whispering to somebody inside. That to somebody inside is he. So I mean, like they're resting right now.
Are any of them conscious?
I mean, 2 of them have not regained consciousness yet. They're Calsplosion here. They're awake, but they haven't really been responsive. I mean, I guess you can come in as long as you're quiet and gentle.
All right, I'll try.
Literally none of us.
Yeah, so we'll go in. If you guys want to join, I just want to see if we can glean any info off of these kids. So I'm gonna like kind of gently jostle the one that has woken up already.
Their parents there?
You don't see their parents here.
Okay.
There as you go in, there's like all these empty like motor oil bottles, and all these old plastic jugs that are over like open flames being heated as if it's some sort of odd alchemy setup, except for it just all smells like horrible burning rubber. They've become calm. They're non-responsive right now. I mean, I guess you can talk to them. I don't really know that they'll have anything to say.
All right, yeah. I try to which one of these kids is woken up already? Wake them up. We just want to ask them a couple questions and we'll be out of your hair.
I mean, it's the one with their eyes open.
Okay. I didn't know they were all resting.
Hi, buddy.
Like the one right here that I'm sitting in front of talking to. It's a kind of diminutive elderly vermin.
So damn smoky in here. I can't see anything. All right.
That's how we like it.
All right, kid. Tell us what happened. We're gonna try and stop this thing, but if you can give us any information that might save our hides, we'd really appreciate it.
There's not. They're like just they're it's a young hoggo. And
Hello.
Like staring straight at the ceiling.
I reach into my romper and I pull out just a real ripe juicy diaper. This is the thing that I have that's gross to drink, and I'm going to attempt to use it as sort of like smelling salts if I could. I'm gonna like grab a vial like I am Hawkeye Pierce. I'm gonna snag one of these things, squeeze my diaper into it, and then go look at the teen and go, "Here, drink this, friend. It'll pep you right up." See if I can shock them into maybe some sort of.
So you squeeze this diaper juice out.
Yeah, I was saving it
into a container.
Yeah, and I like hold it to the child's lips. I do this with the confidence that only a man wearing a pink romper can have, and just act like I know what I'm doing, because and I like, yeah. I look at the vermin and go, please, and like allow me, and I just and give him some diaper juice to drink.
So you don't have an ability you're invoking here. This is just a general.
No, this is the thing that I rolled for. This is the gross thing to drink that.
Oh no, that's fine. I get that. So you're using an item. That's fine.
I mean, like, this is my idea here is that it's like a smelling salt.
Absolutely. What's your disgust skill?
1.
Awesome. Describe to me. I mean, you did a good job. Tell me a little bit about what color this? Tell me about the
Yeah,
qualities of
absolutely.
this juice.
So I've been carrying this diaper around with me for months, and I actually make a point to like tuck it up into a pit at night so it gets even extra some stank on it. And I have I actually had like found some. I've just been like cooking it in my armpit, and I actually I did find some like saran wrap and wrap it for a while, so it's just been in there like fermenting.
Oh.
And I mean, it's almost like when you like I shake it, you can see some of the like diaper juice come out from around the diaper, but in between the but like still inside the saran wrap, so that it is like a sort of like warped, horrible. You know those like wands you used to have that you were little, or the
Yeah.
the wave pools that you make in third grade with the oil and the water. There's sort of there's a real like a beauty to like the patterns going on
A
because
lava
you've
lamp.
got some yes, it is a filthy lava lamp. And there's some like yellow that's like smashing into some brown, but those two fluids, whatever they are, refuse to merge into one, so they just create beautiful shapes. And I crack it almost like pulling apart an egg, and there's a wretched squelching sound as the diaper that has been attempting to burst for months finally yields, and like a rancid yolk, the whole load of the diaper like
Ugh, God,
plops
dude.
with just a wet
Ugh.
thud into the bottom
What did
of
we
the
do?
half of a milk. It was now. You finally, I made you ask why.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I hold it up to myself, and then I mean, of course, to doo doo, like just like you got to get a whiff of
Yes,
this.
I have been coveting that
Yeah.
thing every night.
you've
You
been
put it under
waiting
your
for this to
armpit. I've
happen.
been just, yeah. You've been trying to like keep it from me. Oh man,
We've been
Finally.
talking about it. We've been taking bets about what it's gonna smell like.
the diaper juice.
Oh my god!
The diaper
Yes,
juice.
yes, it's happening. Oh, can you smell it? Oh, you were right. There's like
Rich.
almost a sweetness to it. It's so foul.
You
It smells like rock candy and hate.
Whole body is
Why?
chittering.
you all of a sudden hear just this like light noise from the young person's mouth, and you see their lips like just barely moving.
What's that, friend? And I pull my ear as close as I can to their mouth.
And you hear like this like kind of like gurgling noise as they regurgitate and blast that that diaper juice right back all over the side of your face. Oh,
I'll wipe it up with my cape.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah, you got me with that one there, buddy.
what's happening?
Listen,
Something attacked you, my friend, and we're here to take it down. So
There
if
were-
you can tell us anything about what happened to you and your friends, we'd super appreciate it.
We were in the tires. We were tire sledding.
Sweet, righteous.
Sally went she went down in the tires on the ridge, and
Sally sounds pretty cool.
we couldn't find her, but like, you know, sometimes she'll just go down there for a little while when she's upset, and then we heard the screams, and then we couldn't get away. There were so many of them, and then
So many?
they vomit a little bit more, and then they pass out.
Oh,
So many.
lots of them. Oh boy. All right. Well,
Hawk, to your knowledge and your studies, do Yekis travel in packs? Do they hunt in packs?
I mean, they're not usually like pack animals, but again, the ones that have been spotted and interacted with in the wild could easily just have been outliers from larger groups. There could be a whole civilization for all we know. We could be on a groundbreaking expedition here.
Wait, maybe they're legion. Maybe there's like a bunch of them and they all share like a hive mind.
Dope.
I don't know. That's just philosophy.
I mean, if they have a hive mind and they are legion, I'd say we're pretty well equipped to take them out with this rusty nail trap.
I'm just being out.
Hey.
No, I love it. hive mind. You're right. They absolutely could be. Maybe they have some sort of telepathic ability to make these kids think there were lots of them, but there's just one. They sort of split people's realities in two.
So many of them. The only thing I ever saw that attacked in groups was the scaboids. But I only seen them once, and that was when I was a young, and we got out of there. We ran off.
Are they who took your brother, you think?
No, they're too small to take my brother. He was huge. He's bigger than my daddy.
How many do you think it would have taken?
Maybe 6.
Yeah.
6 or 7. They usually don't attack unless they're provoked, from what I heard. Again, I was a youngin' when I heard rumblings of them. We'll travel in caution. Keep our heads on a swivel, gang. We never know what we're going to come up against.
Yeah, we've learned a lot of valuable information here. I think maybe we should take what we know and get these kids back.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Let's do it. And I look at the vermin. I'm like, just real quick, is there anywhere in town you think I could pick up a tire board? I'd like to get a couple shreds in when we're up there searching. No. I got to talk to anybody about a lift ticket, or we're cool. All right.
There's usually just a bunch laying out there.
Sweet. Love it. You guys are pretty chill.
Yeah, no one's actually supposed to be tire boarding. So, like.
Oh, right. Well, then I definitely won't. No problem. Wouldn't want to break any rules.
Right. So, like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. That's they're. I think the kids just leave them out there because they don't want their parents to know that they're tire boarding.
All right, Doc. While we're here, you got anything that might heal us if we get hurt out there? You know, we're on a mutually beneficial mission here.
We are here at the behest of Crab Slapper.
I mean,
Yeah, what's with all these smells and smokes?
You got any more of those diapers? That was pretty impressive. I mean, I've never seen a diaper juice bring someone out of a non-responsive state before.
Friend.
All about the fermentation process.
Yeah, I've been cooking that one up in the old pit for months. I
Interesting
tell you
nipples
what,
on-
though, I'm gonna get if you've got a fresh load anywhere, you know, in like a brand new diaper, I'm happy to start brewing up another.
I'll take up a collection from the town.
Sure.
Right.
Find whichever kid drank the most warm milk recently, and then just sort of follow him around.
What other type of milk is there?
I mean, cold, boiling. We're after a nice lukewarm. It's perfectly digested. And if you can give that kid, when he like looks like he's about to go, you feed him 3 prunes, and then you shake him up real good, and then grab that diaper and save it for me.
I don't know who Garbage Sandwich is, but
you will get in trouble for
They
kid
just
shaking,
followed
I'm
us
just saying.
22 minutes ago. Garbage Sandwich, if you're out there watching right now, and I hope you are, welcome home. I feel like with that Twitch name, you belong here, and we're glad to have you.
How are those tacos sitting there, pal?
Yeah, Dan Frank up streaming. Let's know how those tacos are.
Diaper juice tacos.
And so you guys, yeah, he promises to kind of to start the process of fermenting. The internal fermentation process is required to produce the base components you need for this diaper. What are you guys up to?
I guess we're gonna make our way up to Tire Hill.
All right.
Yeah. How high up is Tire Hill?
So it's a ridge, so it's actually kind of a steep drop off, but at the end it kind of like scoops, and that's where they'll do trash sledding at. So right behind the town, it's just giant stacks of tires that go up like 200 feet in the air at their apex, and then kind of goes up and down. It just goes up and up and up and up and up and up. There's a bunch of tires kind of between, like scattered between the edge of the ridge and the city. Or so towards the end, a bunch of them have just fallen over, and that's where the prime tire sledding is.
It's like a weird thing that I've always wanted to do because of Earthworm Jim when I was a kid. Does anybody else remember?
Yeah, I remember Earthworm Jim.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome. Sweet. I guess I'm gonna stop as we sort of like reach the edge of the town and like smell the wind, and just let out one good like for the like just onto the wind to see if anybody responds. to
As
the
long as
call.
things are being loose to the wind, I rip a really righteous fart. It's wet.
Nice.
It's what?
I just no look, hold out some knuckles for.
I'm
for
trying.
gold.
I'm trying to exhibit. I want. If the Yeki's listening, I want it to hear that right after it hears its call.
Yeah, no, you're messing my nose.
Yeah,
coming.
this is what's coming, bud.
Make a so if you're this is just you don't care if there's an actual effect here. You're just looking for window dressing.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean,
No, I was talking
talking
about the wet part. You hear like shifting in the tires. And like as you make that noise and you hear like some like other than that it's still and silent all around you.
okay.
Oh, we didn't get an answer back. I was hoping to get a response fart. You know.
Yeah, I was hoping for one too. Just like a real beautiful long one noter. Pure.
Maybe like a cheeky little kid who just happened to be around and just had one ready. You know.
Duty, what did you want to say?
Oh, I was gonna say I do a little fart. I do a little poop, but I try to like throw it so it seems like it came from far away to like give him, because I knew what he was going for. You know, I want to help my buddy out and give him the illusion of a fart back.
Cool.
a Frecco.
I am happy to let it. If you want to spend a point to create smell, I'll just give it to you. That you were able to do that as part of the process. Also, if you don't want to spend that point,
what point is that?
I don't know. Tell me what it says on your sheet. It's probably
create smell. Oh, but I only get 2 of those.
Yeah,
and
you
I
don't
use
have
the
to. That's what I'm saying.
I
Like, you
didn't
can
want to.
decide.
I didn't want to use that
Okay.
as my other ability. I
Okay.
just wanted to do an innocuous fart.
Cool.
You know.
I think that's fine. Yeah. So I think you're able to like toss a little poot out there, and it's quiet enough that it sounds like it came from a distance.
I'm really good at controlling my farts. It's kind of like how I do my magic.
It's what you do
through my smells. So.
It's what you duty. Yeah. So you hear this like little like in the distance.
Do roaches have butt cheeks?
These roaches.
Yeah, roaches roaches are human roach hybrids. So
Nice.
they have
Meaty cloaca.
Just
Yep.
Is it kind of like an echo then?
yeah, it's because it's got like the shell around it, so it's kind of it does kind of trumpet from like the
There's a reverberation.
it's
like a cricket's legs kind of thing.
it's a whole little mini opus. Opus olfactory.
It's the sound from what is it? Third Encounter or Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The
Whoa. This cloacal symphony going on over here.
Like a harmonica.
So yeah, like I said, there's that shifting.
But I look surprised.
There's that shifting inside the tires. There's and then there's this like in the background. What do you do?
Do we see any tires moving? We hear it, or do we see anything move?
You see like a tire go ka-tunk, 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 ka-tunk down the side from towards the top.
I mean, I'm gonna start walking towards wherever that tire came from, like the vicinity that tire came from.
Here's a quick pitch, Gus. Before you run off, we've got the one trap. We all know, of course, because we've been traveling for months, that I can whip up traps out of this bad boy, and I flourish my snot string and then suck it back up. So like maybe one or two of us could see if we can attract some attention, and the rest of us can like lie in wait.
Yeah. We could also, like, if we find out where the direction's coming for, we can close off one of the areas with, just my collection and like maybe lure them into a different area.
The shit wall.
Maybe create like a choke point where we can leave the trap.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Here's a thing that I am very excited about doing. My favorite thing of all is to fly up very high, propel myself with a great long fart, and fly up and then spread out my wings, which don't really let me fly, but I can glide around a little bit and I can see an aerial view if there's any dangers visible from above.
Also, Tony, are there any tire boards lying around?
There are tire boards. Absolutely. There's like 5 tire boards out here.
Are there any like choice tire boards?
One of them is choice. 3 of them are pretty good, and then one of them is just like, this is the one that like one of the kids that nobody likes has to ride.
I'm gonna go pick up the choice one, and I like not like a powerful one, just the normal loogie, like right onto the back of it and start greasing it up.
Nice, getting it ready.
for
Giving it your own shine. So Phil, did you want to go ahead and take that aerial route, or?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll spend. What do I spend? One.
So go ahead and read the ability out for everybody, so people out there
Okay.
get a little bit of taste of that in their
Flatulence
mouth.
of flight. Rip a long one, allowing you to fly through the air or hover in place. Cost 1 disgust effect. Flight for revolting turns. So my revulsion is 2, and I would spend one of my disgust points in order to do that and fly around for 2 turns.
Yeah.
Cool.
And a turn is not a short period of time. It's we're out of combat. It's kind of classic round turn language, though we only ever use turns, so I should probably just figure out what that means a little bit more precisely. It's a good design note for me for this round of testing. But yeah, you'll get a couple minutes of flight.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Take a cursory. I just go right out of that meaty cloaca trumpet sound, but it's like really loud this time. When the last time I did it, I was like trying to muffle it. This is like it's near deafening. It's a big one.
And y'all see him shoot off into the air, superhero style, but way more horrible. And so tell me a little bit about what it smells like as you leave these guys in your literal dust.
Well, first of all, it is a visible cloud. It's like it's a cloud. It's kind of a greenish olive. It's like olive, and it smells a lot like olives that have been left out, mushed around, and chewed up, and left to ferment in a toilet for a very long time.
Olives.
Yeah.
The most gourmet type of yeah. So you launch high up into the air, and because you can glide, I mean you can fly for around this area. So you get an aerial view of Stink Punch Ridge. And you gotta get up on as you get up higher. You can see kind of the backside slope of this. It's this giant crescendo. There's a lot of tires in there, but you can see that there's a lot of other trash mashed in also too, as is very common. You see kind of an old Dole Kemp 96-yard sign. You see trying to pull out some a bunch of just a huge like entire swath of smudged plastic tops that used to kind of seal hummus jars. You get kind of that old garlic hummusy smell up in your nostrils also too. You gotta kind of mark that spot for later. As you get around, you also see a Booger King play place, like one of the slides from that sticking out the top of the hill. Like it's right at the crest there. It's a giant Booger King booger. It's one of the big wide ones that you could like climb in top of, and it looks like it's kind of a prison, and the kids think it's hilarious, and the parents think it's like a great way to get rid of their kids for 5 minutes. And sometimes people get stuck in there, and eventually they replace them with plastic things. But you see one of those.
Cool. That is the thing that I am most intrigued by. I have always been on the lookout for a booger play place ever since going there as a small little roachling and getting lost inside for many days once. I long for it. I lived in my own waste in there. So I long to return to a booger play place. I'll take that knowledge back to the crew.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a cage, buddy. Yeah.
You see a couple small creatures in the distance, but there's no sign of a Yetchi specifically or anything else like that.
Cool. All right, well, back down I go. Whee! Hey guys, there's a Booger Play Place out there and some stuff moving around. No Yankees, there's some real cool hummus lids, but maybe later. Let's do the kids thing first.
Word. Yeah, could we use the play place as like a makeshift monster crate?
We could plant traps outside of it and
Word.
lure stuff to it, and then like we could hide in it. They're really cool places. Maybe the kids are even trapped in there. It's a good place to look.
Should we
All
go look
right.
at it? Let's go
Yeah.
look at it.
We also might want to like child-proof the slide in case we like end up having to do like a severe combat on it. So if I get my collection and just rub it on the like at least halfway point, we won't have to deal with that. It'll almost act as a putty or some sort.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'll add to it with my multiple sticky things.
Yes.
So you guys, it takes a little bit, but you guys are able to crest the top of this hill eventually. Most of the stops are waiting for Gus to kind of catch his breath and catch up a little bit. I think, Gus, do you have a speed of 1 or a speed of 0? Or feet?
2.
2 feet? Oh, you're not that bad. Never mind. I'm sorry.
No.
I apologize. Gus is doing fine.
Yeah.
And so lots of sweat, but fine other than that. And so
Hoggles are good over short distances.
y'all get to the top. Yeah, you see it's just sticking out of the top. It's like on a there's a column coming out of the ground. It's just 3 or 4 feet, and this giant Booger King head with a crown on top, and those great green kind of the paint is chipped and old, but you can still see those green boogers sticking out from beneath like the anthropomorphized face on the outside of this thing, and it's giant like open nostrils that you can climb up into to get inside this play place.
It's like coming home. It's beautiful.
Finally.
Yep. Yeah, we go in, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
God, I miss these things.
So as you climb in, are you guys all going in the same nostril? Or are you guys going in different nostrils?
I want to go in the left nostril specifically.
Left.
I'm gonna
take
bring
righty.
it. Yeah. All right. I'll go right nostril then.
Okay.
Let's split up, gang.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see if we
Well,
actually.
how big is it? Like, it's not.
We'll meet in the brain.
It's big
Yeah.
enough for you. Like the roachers can stand up inside of it easily. The vermin, like their heads will like be brushing it. The humans will be scrunched over, and the hoggos will be on all fours in this part. But it is big enough for anyone to get into. Almost as if by design they were like, what happens when hoggo parents need to go get little hoggo kids out of these things?
Sure.
And so like they definitely kept that in mind. So you get up, you guys get up in there. And each of these nostrils kind of spins off in a different direction. If you've been in one of these before, you do go, and you know that you would know that they like wrap around and meet in the back. So you're not like split up. You're just going into two different directions. And then as you come to the back of it, there's kind of a chute that descends down, and there's also a slide that descends down. So you can go down the chute, or you can go down the slide.
Oh, go down the slide.
I mean, no, absolutely. I think of that, like when Gus makes that exact in-game laugh, I'm like, yeah, slide.
Who's doing the slide?
I'm
Everybody?
doing the slide. I'm like real greasy, so slide to me is like super fun. I'm about to whiz down this thing.
Cool.
Also, how long is it? Because I'm about to take my grease tire board. I'm going to try and
Oh, I mean, you'll be
like-
able to find out for sure. I mean, you don't know how long it is.
give a little
And
test
so,
run.
Yeah,
who's going first?
I'll go first impulsively. Like,
Okay. Go ahead and we're gonna make a repugnant flop for this because this is an old slide and there are a couple pieces missing and there are a couple sharp edges. So we're gonna see how well you do. What is your repugnance score?
3.
3. All right.
Repugnance?
It
Sorry,
says
revulsion.
revulsion.
Revulsion. Sorry.
Okay.
Your revulsion score. All right. So you make it down. You do notice some of these like sharper spots, but like you kind of like hit them, and then you just like the grease on your skin just kind of slides you over some of those sharper points, and you're fine. Who's next?
I'll shred down.
All right, and you're on this board.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got a 5 revulsion.
You got a 5 revulsion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know that you can fail, but you're fine. Also,
I was about to say you say that. Like, that's.
You're fine. Also, who's next?
Nope.
I kind of want to risk going down the chute.
I mean, you are absolutely welcome to go down the chute.
I'll go down the slide. It's fine. I just look at the chute long.
What's your revulsion?
My revulsion's 1.
Your revulsion's 1. So as you're going down, you kind of catch this really sharp edge on one of the turns. Your armor has an ability to protect you from harm, though, I believe.
Yes, it does.
Go ahead and read that ability out to me.
Your body is covered in makeshift armor forged from the trash around you. Anytime you take damage, you may throw 2 chits. If both drops are showing, may ignore 1 8 damage.
Sorry, we're on the actual version. There's a drop on one side of the chits and not on the other side. So sorry, that's that. It doesn't make any sense to you. It will make sense in the actual game.
So I'm allowed to apparently ignore 1 if that goes the way it needs to go.
You take 1 damage.
Awesome.
So you kind of get sliced on this sharp piece of plastic.
All right.
Oh my.
Oh, what's our HP? How do we know our HP?
It's your meat.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
I certainly can't afford to take any damage from getting poked by anything sharp, and I also love gliding down things. So I will glide down this chute, open up my wings, and
You glide down the chute. So you just kind of flitter slowly to the ground.
Flitter down.
Excellent. So you flitter down, and you get to the bottom of the chute. You see everybody. How well does Gus land?
Oh, recklessly. He's too heavy to be agile.
Okay, cool. So you come down and you see like Gus like flopped out on the ground.
I land on him.
Yeah, with Hawk like having skidded over his back just a little bit, and like having scooshed out across the other side, and then you see Drux kind of like Drux. Where do you think this piece of plastic caught you?
Oh, the piece of plastic, it probably got me right below my belly button somehow. Like it just shot up right between me and my armor. Just the little area that was there. And now I just have a little bit of a stream that just seems to be just cussing out of different colors. It's like it's a rainbow too. It shouldn't be a rainbow, but the amount of things that I have under my armor, you wouldn't. Things got smashed, things got moved around.
You did that one kid thing where you like were looking at the person behind you when you let go, and so you slid down on your belly backwards, and that's how it like just got right up in there. And so
that's exactly what happened.
Tummy burn.
All
the husky kids feel your pain.
Also, I'm a little bit gross under there, so a few things might have burst in the process.
There's a lot of dog poop in there.
There's a lot of dog. Actually, most of that helped as kind of a buffer.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that you guys are at the bottom, as you everybody gets settled, you hear a light chittering in the darkness all around you. There's small rivets of light that kind of come through, but not very many of them. It's pretty dark in here and pretty difficult to see. And you hear kind of this chittering noise. But we're going to take a 5-minute break and come back and you'll find out what it is right after that. We are playing right now the game that we have live on Kickstarter, Repugnant. It's the world's most disgusting RPG. It's created as a partnership between Plus One EXP and Terrible Games. It's Terrible Games. Project John did all the art. I've been doing the system. This is the first actual play that we're doing in public. We're going to be back in 5 minutes, but I want to remind everybody, if you haven't backed it yet, go to ttrpg.link to check it, or at ttrpg.link/grossrpg to just check it out. If we can get to 275 backers over the course of the next 3 days, we are going to create a whole lot more art inspired by different people. You can see how we turned Phil into Duty the Roacher that he is playing right now. We did the same thing with everybody else. So if you want to go back it, even for $1, doesn't matter how many people back it, we want to just get up to that 275 backer level, and then share a selfie of yourself or a picture of yourself with the hashtag Repugnant Mug. We'll be putting this out in an update tomorrow morning. We've got a couple reveals coming up later on, and we're going to give out that black rainbow dice bag a little bit later. And so we will be back in just one moment to play a little bit more and to keep on going. So we will see you guys in just a few minutes. You guys saw all the secrets. How dare you? How dare you see all the secrets? All right, we are back live playing Repugnant RPG. In just a little bit, we are going to be giving away, if you type an !gross, a dice bag from Black Rainbow. Here's one of their dice bags. Here is another one of their dice bags. Here is another one of their dice bags. They're just absolutely gorgeous. These are mostly glow-in-the-dark and blacklight responsive. Absolutely phenomenal bags we've been giving away on channel. They are the preferred dice of +1 streams. Their dice also equally blacklight responsive, glow-in-the-darky. They come with the kits come with a little pin and some other stuff. But here's the coolest thing. We are actually, we're revealing this tomorrow formally. Don't tell everybody that we showed you guys. John, where did you drop that art for me?
That's in the Slack channel.
In Slack. Let me slack it up. I'm going to show you guys something cool that no one else has seen yet, because that's what I do when we're on stream together. And then we're going to hop back into playing a little bit more. Let me get it set up. But I just discovered Black Rainbow stuff. I'm always looking. It's blackrainbow.com, no vowels, just BLKRNBW. I just love all the stuff that they do. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. And I had reached out to them a little while ago and just said, hey, like, I don't know if you have an affiliate program. And he was like, I'll just send you a whole bunch of stuff for free to give away because I don't have an affiliate program. Brady Chambers, awesome guy, runs the company. Great artist, really wants to be working with independent game designers to do stuff that represents their games also. Runs like these micro lots out of just like, you know, like 100 bags every single time they do it. So it's always new, always changing. Phenomenal dice. But we are actually going to be doing a custom dice bag with them. We don't have the mock-ups yet. We're going to release this on as an update tomorrow. But here is the art from the outside of what our dice bag will look like. This will all be glow-in-the-dark, blacklight responsive. This is from the crust. This is actually probably what the area they just slid down into looks a whole lot like. But this will be something you can add on to your pledge after we close. So you don't have to worry about buying it right now. You can buy it in a couple weeks or whatever. But it'll also come with black and green. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, for anybody looking at it, the idea is because the dice bag has a cylindrical shape. When this whole thing wraps around the outside, it should resemble a garbage can surrounded by ooze and monsters and bugs and stuff.
Yeah. We wanted a place for you to put all your chits. We wanted just a big can of chit for all you people. So in the same way that this wraps all the way around, right? Wrap, or any of these. Wrap. It'll be a wraparound of the that art that we just showed you, and it'll have John's ghost bat symbol on the bottom also too. We'll also have a print of our cover that will be. Do we go with glow in the dark? Is that what we ended up doing? Anyways,
yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be green paper with black ink, and then there's gonna be there's gonna be glow in the dark highlights on the poster, which should be like an 18 by 22.
Yep.
And then the dice bag will have the chits, and then there's also gonna be a black and toxic neon green dice set with it also.
Yep. And then it also has a patch in it of Fartholomew RE Repugnant, our mascot that we named, or that you guys helped us name over the course of the last little bit. And so those will be available as an add-on post-campaign. We'll have the pledge manager open until we're ready to ship them, though would love to get your information sooner rather than later. So just keep an eye out for that. But also, if you just pledge at the $300 level, you can just get it all. You don't have to pay anything extra. You don't have to add anything on. You just get it. Plus a whole lot of other amazing stuff. So enough of that. We would love to use your support or your backing at any level, even if it's just sharing things out. Oh, that's the pizza box. That'll be an add-on also too. That's a custom pizza box with Fartholomew on the front also too. And it'll come with a little adventure module called Pizza Face Problems. It's more of an urban adventure where you are a pizza face and their friends who all work at a pizzeria together, and you've got to deliver pizzas to all kinds of different folks and dwellers on the crust, and just deal with a whole bunch of issues as you go through that. You got to get there in 30 minutes or less. So that'll be a little adventure that we've cooked up for you also too, and it can get delivered in that box as well. So if you haven't gone to ttrpg.link/grossrpg to check it all out, please do, and just please know that there's a ton of amazing stuff that'll come with that. Yeah, let's get back into playing. So you guys have found yourselves at the bottom of this. One of you slightly wounded from the journey. and you kind of find yourself in this kind of dark, cavernous area. You hear the distant dripping of water as you kind of skitter past all these cassette tapes, one of which says Party Klezmer on the outside of it. It's kind of dark and hard to see in here. What do you do?
Does anyone have a light?
The cat.
It's sort of like a wall.
Do we see anything
Looking for a
around?
light switch.
Yeah, is there any, what kind of trash is surrounding us?
Yeah.
The kind of trash surrounding you, like I said, you're actually at a giant pile of cassette tapes primarily.
Okay. Cassette tapes.
Yeah.
Can I maybe see if I can? Oh, no. Go ahead, sir.
I didn't take grease. I took acid and blackhead. If I had grease, we'd be able to like make a torch.
I mean, we've got nasty cloaks. I got a used hanky. I don't know what it's used.
Got lots of smelly stuff.
Yeah, I've got hello.
And you hear chitter 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 chitter.
Word, you sound mad ominous. Do you guys have like lights or?
And then you hear a sound like wet Velcro being pulled apart, and a coppery kind of tang fills the air. Who is the Alex? You were on that sled, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead and make. What's your revolting again?
5.
5.
Chuck them chits.
All of a sudden, this thick, goopy scab embeds itself a couple of inches into the wooden board that's kind of propped up in front of you.
Okay. Now I'm trying to remember the last time we smelled some coppery, scabby smells. This happened. So many gross things have gone into my brain in the last 2 hours.
The
heads
coppery
up.
from like this thing was coppery.
Oh yeah.
I want to grab the scab out of the side of wood, and then take a cassette tape and like unravel the tape inside of it around the tip, and then I'm going to use my Tusker Tooth ability to scratch my nails across the top of the tape in the scab and make it ignite into a torch.
Solid.
Sweet. Does that cost anything, or is that just a once per session?
Once per session, I can use an item in a way other than its intended purpose to surprising effect.
So you draw your finger across this iron hard like scab, and all of a sudden fire ignites, and you've got this burning, molding piece of plastic in your hands right now. What are you doing with it?
I'm holding it out to see if there's anything in eye shot. I'm also examining the scab in my hand.
Sure. You've seen these before. I mean, you talked about them already. This is a scaboid scab. I mean, you recognize it. And you all of a sudden see light glinting off all these eyes in the darkness, and you see these kind of thick, chitinous scabs covering their faces. One of them is missing one on the side of its face, and you see this kind of goopy pus dripping down as it's already starting to harden back over in that same spot. And you can see 4 scaboids in the middle, in the far distance. So basically, we've got close, which is essentially melee; near, which is I could easily walk there, but it's or I could easily get there in a move or two, and then you've got far, which is anything beyond that, and then very far, which is on the horizon, essentially. So, so these guys are in the near to far range, and it looks like they are. You hear that same kind of ripping noise again, like wet Velcro go. I don't know how to make that with my mouth. Rip, rip, rip.
I start throwing cassette tapes towards the eyes.
And also this this cassette tape getting hot in your hand?
Well, I wrapped the tape around the end of the scab.
Okay, you're using
And
the
I'm
scab like a insulating element. Gotcha.
Yeah. So like the tape, like the plasticky tape innards are wrapped around the end.
Gotcha.
Then I scratched it, and so there's this bit of like burning plastic on the tip of the scab rod.
Gotcha. All right.
Hell yeah. We're all getting a little magnetic tape smoke.
Mm.
contact high.
And Phil's chucking tapes at him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
I'm just fourth arm, third arm.
I'm gonna try and take one of these turds out. One of my abilities is loogie shot. And I center myself, and that like I let the old in lefty go almost all the way to the ground, and then like take a huge breath and just and like suck it all the way up. Like I pull like every bit of snot and mucus in my body that is being produced at the moment. Like my butthole clenches up. I hawk so hard, and just all of it goes down, and like I feel it in my fucking heart chakra meld into a big giant powerful loogie. And and I go, hello, do any of you have a light? And let loose like a phlegm projectile.
So
go
ahead and read what
power
loogie
from all the bong reps I did at Flush shows.
Go ahead and read the loogie shot out loud to me. Also, the engineer
definitely
has joined us and says, "Good morning. Vic promised Gross Town, so you're here for the weird and gross." So Vic put the call out to some friends, said, "Come be gross with us." We are playing Repugnant RPG.
Verbatim what I said.
Yes. Well, I hope that the powerful loogie that I just hawked, my namesake, why they call me this, loogie shot, snort and hawk a powerful loogie far distance with a successful fling. Cost 1 revulsion, effect +1 chit.
Okay, so you're gonna spend that 1 revulsion point. Your magnitude for your revulsion is 5, right?
Yep.
You get an extra.
So now I'm down to 4.
Right. Well, no, but your magnitude always stays the same. Like that's always what you'll roll. The points are how often you can trigger those abilities that are associated with that stat.
Got it.
And so, and then when you raise it, it does go up. But yeah, so you got 5,
sure.
and then
you
you
got
gave
some
me
machine gun mucus all over the place.
About your butthole clenching around that mucus, and you feeling it in your heart chakra also. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I made 8 of these dang things. Where'd they go?
Yes.
All right, I'll just have to flop a couple.
So powerful, there aren't enough chits
afterwards. Here we go. We've got a. Oh, this is a ranged attack, right? So we're gonna make a fling. We're gonna see how well it does. Oh.
Powered by love.
Where are you aiming on this scaboid?
Right there,
right between the eyes.
With as the scab is like beginning to, I'm trying to Indiana Jones level thread the closing scab.
So this scab is reforming on the side of their face. You all of a sudden you let loose this loogie. It's not the best one you've ever done, but it's a powerful loogie. Like you've hit harder before, but you ram it straight into that spot as it's starting to close up, and you like penetrate through, and you see it kind of just like pop out the other side of this thing's jaw, and you actually see like the scab on its other cheek like blossom out a little bit. And then come back down, and it's a little bit loose.
Okay.
But it was an excellent loogie hawk.
Take that.
Initiative is fairly fluid. I mean, theoretically, people who have higher speed can go first. You guys have kind of a moment as these things collect themselves to get a couple shots in.
I'm gonna cautiously kind of guard our light source and kind of stand my ground and wait for something to come towards me.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna whip out my dumpster move, a giant mallet that can stun even the hardest foes, and I think we can assume what it's made out of, but it's wrong. and it's whatever I can grab in about 5 seconds that's on the floor. Plus my obvious adhesive that I have been keeping so near and dear and warm to my heart.
So you actually, the dumpster is basically an item you carry around with you. So your character has these items that they can whip out. So it can be whatever's around. Like if you want to scoop some of that up in the end of it, but it is made out of whatever you want it to be made out of. And so, yeah, so you kind of scoop up these cassette tapes, and like there's all these old wires on the ground in the edge of your dumpster. It forms into this giant club, and you hit one of the ones that's closest to you. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
What's your feet?
My feet?
Yeah.
It's 4, but let me double check on that. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it is 4.
Yeah, you're plenty fast, so you can easily get to one of these guys. What's stat that uses it?
I end up losing 1 disgust.
Okay, so it's a disgust based.
Yes, and my effect is +1 shit.
Cool. So what's your and it stuns also if you hit him, right? What's your disgust magnitude?
My disgust magnitude is now 1.
It stays the same. So no matter how many points you have,
I'm sorry, I misunderstood that again.
Yeah.
It's 2. It was 2.
2. So you started with 2. So you'll always have 2 until it goes up. So 2 plus the extra chit, and this is going to be a disgusting flop. You said we could all assume what it is. Do you want to describe this at all to try to get that extra disgusting chit for just your descriptive also?
We have all the cassettes, but I kind of ground them up a little bit to create more of a more aggressive element to it. And I start to unload some of the warmer, closer to my chest aspects of excrement that I have. So we're getting the deep chest dog shit. We're going for like the small, really bred dogs that are like premium. Their poo comes out a little bit different. These aren't some healthy mutts. These are like cream of the crop overbred dog poop. So it's like it has a different consistency. It's almost like alien in some ways, but that part definitely goes to the hilt. And the more like premium mutt muck tends to go up against the whole whammy part of the mallet itself.
I just really need somebody at some point in time who's playing. In all honesty, I want you to be playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. Like, it's a very, very few times where I'm going to be like, absolutely be playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition when you do this. And I want whatever your cleric's spiritual weapon is to be a giant mallet made out of dog feces. Like, I don't know what god you need in order to have that be the thing that you summon for your. I think it's called like. Is it spiritual weapon, spectral weapon, whatever it is? Yeah. I want it to be a giant dumpster mallet made out of.
I can see it as it like
dog feces.
As it like coalesces into this hammer shape, it all just like turns like bright white. You know, like do you remember dog poop used to be white?
This is gonna be a problem because I know some of my players are watching, and I'm never gonna be able to live this down.
They're all gonna be like, how do we just work dog shit mallets into play from this point forward?
Dog shit to each aspect in the mallet. That's an adhesive component.
It says Penny's Warhammer is now made out of raven poop. Don't at me. So you wade into this thing. You hit it straight across the head, and you kind of again you see this effect where like the dog this premium dog feces impacts its face, and you can see its eyes kind of go wide as one of them pops open a little bit, like the eye ruptures, and you see but you see like the actual face meat like get protected slightly by these coils, as then like the other eye like loses focus and this thing just falls to the ground.
Fantastic. Does any of it like rub off on
the
face?
Absolutely like it's all up in that scab.
I need to make sure that
that eye socket is no longer filled with eye, but it is filled with something, if you know what I mean.
I think I understand.
Yeah. So hope. Who's next?
think I already went.
I'll try to get in front of the group of us and lay down some of my sticky adhesive to create sort of like a defensive perimeter in case these scaboids come rushing at us. They might get stuck in my on my bandolier of disgusting smelly things is an old jar full of hagfish slime, which is just like preposterously sticky and smells like the bottom of the ocean took a shit. And that is, I'm spreading that out in front of us so that these scaboids will have to move through it.
This might be seem like bizarre. That is the second time the smell of hagfish has come up on this channel in this month. Like
nice.
That's pretty
I mean,
impressive.
it's in the air.
Yeah. And we weren't even playing a gross RPG that time. Like, it just came up. Sweet. So you just kind of smell this goopy hagfish stuff around, kind of creating a perimeter around you. Awesome, beautiful. As you guys do that, these you had heard that kind of wet schlop of them pulling these scabs off their bodies. Alex, what's your meat?
3.
You all of a sudden feel a one of these kind of scabs fling and hit into your shoulder. You're gonna take one hit of damage, so you're gonna lose one meat.
Okay.
And then what's your meat, Drux?
My meat's 4.
Your meat's 4.
Wait, my meat's not 4. My meat's 2.
Your meat's 2.
My feet's 4. My meats are 2.
That's a big rat.
So you are going to take and that's total, or what you're at right now?
Oh, that's where I'm at.
Okay, so you had 3 to start with?
Yeah. Good. I lost a meat with the belly bump.
Good. Because you're going to take another hit of damage also too.
That's all good. And I awesome. Okay. Anytime.
Tell me where this scab hits you. Actually, so you also do have your armor ability, right?
Yeah. I have the anytime you take damage, you throw 2 chits, and I maybe get to ignore one of them.
It pings off your armor actually. You're
awesome.
Nice.
So there's about a 25% chance that a garbage man does not take damage. I think we may up that. We may up that to 50 for just one of the hits. But
they're resilient.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of cautiously stay near the rest of the group without actually interacting. Again, I'm just gonna wait for something to get closer and just maintain the light.
Cool.
Maintain the light source.
Just burning cassette tapes. Just
burning cassette tape after cassette tape as smoke starts to fill the air thicker.
I'm like feeding
thicker.
them to you because I'm like hanging back. Also, here's another tape. It's starting to burn out, so you can just.
You reach down for another piece of tape, and it's just a pile of pink plastic gelato spoons. By the way, thanks Indie Boy for consistently keeping new types of trash coming up in the feed. We really appreciate it. So, or at least I do, because it's one less thing for me to have to come up with off the top of my head. So you've got one of these guys on the ground, totally zonked out. You've got another one who is not looking good because you rocked a loogie through the side of his face. And you've got the other 2 that are in the distance, or one that's kind of a little bit closer, and then one that's a little bit further away. Who you have not engaged with. The one that is closer to you, that was closest to you, has started moving even closer. It is getting near that hagfish jelly also to you. What do you do?
As the one that's coming towards us, I'm just gonna showcase another ability here. Almost instantly, old Lefty starts making phlegm again, and this time I plug up my right nostril and suck all that phlegm back in, and I get it down on my throat. And what I start doing is I start manipulating my throat and my uvula, and I start taking that phlegm and weaving it in my throat into a web, and then I just aim real good right at dude, and then launch a like a basically a web rocket out of my nostril right at dude. So like I have an ability called snot strands. I can project long, thick strands of snot by spending one revolting, and I can shoot these like webs up to a far distance by making a revolting flailing or use it like rope.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm as I read that, I'm thinking this is maybe more of a Spider-Man move.
This is more of a Spider-Man move. What you're trying to do right now, if you had bought Flim Trap will do what you just tried to do.
I do have Flim Trap.
So
Flim Trap's literally my other one.
Yeah, so read Flim Trap out loud.
Okay, so Flim Trap quickly crafts a trap out of your nose juice, items, and the surrounding environment. Cost 1 disgust items. 1 disgust plus items effect damage immobile. Okay, well, I've got 1 disgust to spend. I've just got the 1. Did not metagame enough with my Flim Trap. So yeah, that's what I'd like to do then is I take that like web that I have made, and I'm gonna just like I like hawk it, I like pull it out of my nose with my hands, and I run it through some cassette tapes on the ground to like give it like anchor points, and then huck it right at this dude.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So you're like waiting, you quickly like right in your hand, right? And then you you flip it down, you grab some of those cassette tapes to give it a little bit of weight, and then you like toss the thing.
Yes. And then I do a Spartacus move. And
cool.
like this yeah.
And what's your original magnitude for disgust?
Just 1.
Just 1? Oh, just 1.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That was a pretty good description. Nothing fully outstanding. So that's going to be a fling. Well, one of them is barely touching the edge of the sheet. That's the good news. So you do catch this guy. You don't get him really clearly, but you do catch the edge of him. And he is going to be spinning this round and maybe a little bit of the next one, extricating himself from this thing. So you've stopped him effectively. Who's next?
Is Drax next? I'm not sure.
There's it's initiative order just as you guys want to act.
I'm pretty fast on my feet.
You and I have been fighting, and they've been backing us up. Was the first round.
Backing us up.
Hey,
providing light so that these idiots with weapons can see things.
Hey, don't worry, guys. We put some sticky stuff behind you, so if you back up, you're stuck and can't move. Don't worry.
So I had a weapon, something sharp. I actually managed to get it off some guy who just carelessly dropped it while trying to pay for his meal. I have a metal credit card that I've broken in half, and I'm gonna get a little bit of gunk on it and just throw it like a star across the room at them.
Awesome. What is your what's your revulsion?
My revulsion is 1.
1. I just love the voice shift there was a little bit jarring.
I realized it was actually harder for everyone to understand the descriptions of things when I'm doing it in this voice, so I'll just default to my other one moving forward. Other voice. This is my real voice.
This is a lie.
So you hit it, and you it like sinks right into one of those chitinous pieces, but it doesn't look like it hurt it at all.
Eyeballing the one that's currently stuck with booger net, I'm gonna like deftly sort of put down our fire source into a pile of other tapes, kind of hoping that maybe it catches or something. And then I'm gonna kind of do like a bounding jog and just land ass first onto this dude's head. Just crush his entire body with my body.
So you're literally going to make a revolting flop. Like you're going to as literally as possible just wallop this guy with your body. Excellent. Anything disgusting you want to add to that description, particularly to?
I mean, my swamp ass is like the Everglades. It's hot. It's been preserved and untouched for a long time. No one's been there for a while, and it's gonna be
except for dead bodies.
Yeah, It's no man's land.
What's your revulsion?
My revulsion is 3, so I'll spend. I guess if I spend a point, I guess.
Oh, you don't need to spend a point. You're just gonna.
Okay.
That gives you an extra chit.
Cool.
Just
Yeah, my
trying to think
revulsion's 3.
Trying to think if no one's been there for a while is worth an extra. It's good, but I don't know if we were on that level. And that is going to be a flop, so we're going to drop from straight up. Yeah, you come down on this guy hard, and you kind of like you in midair, like in a way that is kind of improbable for a Hago, do like a full sideways like suplex, hands straight up, feet straight out, but then you like pull it all back in and come just right down on him with your giant glute, and you just clobber him. What is I'm trying to think. You and which guy was this? Was this the one that was?
It's the one that was stuck to Phil's hagfish jelly.
Awesome.
And also in the booger net, it had hagfish jelly and booger net trapping it up.
Oh yeah. So this guy is if he's not dead, he's at least stuck to your ass by snot.
I clench.
We'll come back to clinching in a second. I'm gonna honor that. I'm gonna honor that clinching. But we'll come back to that just 1 second. Phil, what are you doing?
Can I dig through these the cassettes and everything? And there's other things obviously in here. There's gelato spoon. So there's maybe something else that I can use to whack. So I could because I have one whacking thing. I want to have 2 whacking things.
You want a double fisted whack?
Yeah. I want to do a double fisted whack. Maybe keep going, get a 4-fisted whack.
You like kind of dive down and you spend your turn kind of like rummaging through the trash, looking around, and you don't find something to whack, but you do find something you can use as a tool. Now I am never going to be somebody who's going to say that you can't use something that is a tool as also something that you can use to then whack someone. So if you want to tell me what kind of tool, what kind of disgusting and gross tool you have pulled out of this garbage.
It's gonna be a plunger, I guess, but it was thrown away because it hit something solid, like a solid mass, and there's poop at the end of the plunger, and it like solidified and made sort of like a little poop plunger mace, and yeah, so that's my nasty tool. And I'm dual wielding that and my my other thing that whacks that I had on me before, which is an armadillo with rigor mortis. So it's like the carcass of a small like animal that's just like really hard. Like it's been preserved, and my poop mace plunger, and I'm ready to start whacking things.
I'll retcon that this armadillo was found, like it's rubble from the Alamo, and there's just a cannonball shoved inside of it also too. So it's got like
Cool. Yeah,
it's got massive heft to it. And so so you've got that, so
I'm standing ready now.
You dig down, you pop back up, you've got this armadillo shoved with a cannonball inside of it, covered in wilted spinach in one side, and you've got this plunger mace on the other side, ready to rumble. We're gonna have a couple more of these brain not working, of these kind of throwing stars. You hear that wet ripping sound one more time. And what is Gus's meat?
My meat is 4, homie.
Meat is 4. Oh, sassy Malassi. Yeah, you actually one of these, like, it hits you, but it like catches the edge of you, and it catches your like your fat and your grease at just the right angle where it doesn't even pierce. It just like careens off. Oh, that welt, like for a second it hits that, and you're worried for a second it's gonna pop it prematurely, but it just hits the hard edge of it. It doesn't hit the gooey center, and it just pings off of that. Off into the and kind of floats off into
I'm
the
like,
distance.
hey, watch it. Do I take any damage?
No, you don't. No, you
Cool.
you're fine. These guys are not hard unless you only have like one meat, and then they can be really deadly.
That's me.
So, and then let's see who else. Oh, so let's do. Let's actually do. What is your meat? You have one meat.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And all you did was stand up. I actually think they're probably a little bit more worried about the guy who threw the loogie web. So, what's your your meat magnitude?
Magnitude's 3.
Magnitude is 3. You are also fine. So they try to fling one at you and just whips past you. No issue. So y'all are up.
I think now that Gus is solidly in the fracas and the light source is down, I'm gonna dig in. I'm gonna try and make like a solid torch for us to keep the light going, since I'm still sort of like back behind our sticky barrier.
Sure.
I'm gonna go diving here and see if I can pull up something that I can like maybe use with my hanky to like get a good.
I will point out, as a human,
solid
once
light.
per session, you can pull one of two. You can pull 2 things from out of your hair, so you would get 2 flicks, and it would be an instantaneous thing, not a singular thing.
Absolutely, dude. One of my precious devil sticks.
Oh, hold on.
comes
We
right
still
out of that.
we still dumpster dive for them. It's just
Okay.
2 dumpster dives, and then you can pick which one you think fits what you're going for better. And tell me what it is.
I got
all right?
you. I got you.
So
Okay.
there's still a luck element to it, but you get to do it once per session. So we've got 2, 2, 1, 1.
Oh yeah, helpful. I should read.
You
all
either
my
have
stuff.
something you can use as a shield,
Okay.
or or something stretchy.
Something stretchy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh man. Okay. Formatting index for a game once. Okay, cool. Stretchy or a shield out of my hair. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm going to pull those little hands that you could get at the arcade that
Little
you could
slap.
pull and slap hands.
Thank you, Slap.
I've definitely been keeping one of those for a special occasion, and it's one. You know what? I back in Connecticut, they used to give us points for doing excellent research, and I of course was writing reports on the Yeki from a young age, and one of my teachers thought that even though she didn't believe in any of it, it was creative, and she rewarded my creativity, and she gave me this out of her prize bucket, and so I've been hanging on to it, and I pull it out, and it's like made out of God knows what kind of wretched oils, and so I'm gonna turn it into a ball, and then like light it on fire, and like just drop it, like light it, and then take it, and we got like a roof here, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is that I'm gonna light it and then throw it up onto the like ceiling to give us a sort of like a fire orb move.
Sure. Love it. No, absolutely. Yeah. You like think real quick. You reach back, you grab it, you light it, you toss it up, and actually you see they all like react very negatively to this. Like they were okay with the light from just the small torch varying back. This kind of illuminating the whole space with the other light. Like you hear them like hiss, and one of them just bolts. Like he just bolts out of the room as quickly as possible down a tunnel at the other end. And so there's
Right, get a good look.
there's one under Gus, one unconscious, and then this one more who's staring you guys down and is getting ready to pull another scab off.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm gonna go like like make a pig call kind of thing at the scaboid that's eyeballing us, while the other one is underneath of me, and I'm just gonna like press down like making direct eye contact with the scaboid. I'm gonna try to kill the other one with my ass cheeks. Just to show him.
Smash him up.
Are you trying to make him run away, or are you trying? I mean, I know you're trying to kill this one. Which one are you more focused on right now? Killing this one or intimidating this other guy? I
am telegraphing to the one staring at us that the one under me is him.
Okay,
like that.
So I'm gonna have you make a shame-based flop for this.
Okay, hold 2 times per session when asked to make a shameful throw. You can substitute another scuzz instead. This is shame.
This is shame. So this would be shame
fine.
normally.
That's fine.
Okay, what's your shame?
No, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use free from shame and use my revulsion bonus for this. So +3.
So you're going to use your physical prowess. Which 100% makes sense. You're going to use you're using your physicality to intimidate him, not the social reality of that. Absolutely. So you have 4 or 5. What's your revulsion?
My revulsion's 3.
Your revulsion's 3.
+3.
Cool. It was a good description of how you were squeezing this guy's life out in the cheeks of your butt
with ass jelly flowing.
Holy crap! You feel a wet squirt behind you, and you're not entirely sure what it was. And then the other guy, you see a small pull, you hear the sound of water hitting metal, and then a small rivulet of liquid start leaking down the leg of the guy who you were staring at in the eyes as he bolts down the same tunnel that the other one just ran down.
All right.
So as y'all have driven off the scaboids, this room is well lit, but also the fire is starting to spread a little bit on the ceiling also too. It's not a controlled burn. And then all of a sudden in the distance, y'all hear a noise, and I'm going to ask Alex to produce for us. Which is not the Canon Yeti noise, but is for our adventure. I think this is a good place to stop. I would love to keep on going, but there's some other adventures down in the Yeti hole. We got a chance to explore a lot of different aspects of what Repugnant does. So, hey guys, you survived my scaboid attack. So, way to go. So this has been Repugnant. We have been playing live right now on our live streams. Even though John and I are the creators of this, we always do a special session, and that session is called Reaction Roll. Reaction Roll is a live stream within a live stream. Today on Reaction Roll, we are talking about Repugnant, which is an RPG produced by +1EXP in partnership with Terrible Games. It is a Terrible Games project. John DeCampos doing art and world building, me doing the writing and the system design. And we just played it right now, and we are going to talk about it on Reaction Roll with all the people that we just had a blast playing with, or at least I had a blast. I hope they did, because we're gonna just ask them to tell us about it. But I'm gonna go around first. Again, I'm Tony Vicinda. You can find me at Tony Vicinda, +1EXP. You can find it +1EXP.com or at +1EXP across all platforms. We're a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. We created the covered in chit system that powers Repugnant, and we're hoping becomes really hackable for other people. I'm going to kick it over to John DeCampos to tell us a little bit more about Repugnant and his part in it, also in Terrible Games.
Yep, I'm the illustrator behind Repugnant, and the part owner and illustration person behind all of the Terrible Games releases so far. I illustrate for other people's board games and contract work as Ghostbat under the pseudonym Ghostbat. And as I mentioned before, Phil and I are also part of improv comedy troupe / adventuring party called Whose Rolls It Anyway, that used to regularly do shows monthly, but we're trying to get back in the groove after the COVID shutdowns. And yeah, for my part, Repugnant was, I just saw Zine Quest and I saw how Tony had killed it with Beards and Beyond last year, and we had already worked together on some stuff. So it seemed like a really cool project to do that seemed containable, and it just kind of evolved from there.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased with the result.
The fun thing is the Terrible Games and Plus One logos are right next to each other, and our logo has gotten a lot of compliments recently. John did the art for our logo. It was like our first collab project that we got to work on. I hired him to do some new branding for us, and what we ended up with was just a phenomenal logo that does a lot of heavy lifting and does some really cool things. So I just love getting to work with John whenever he can. So was totally psyched. But you didn't just come here to hear from us. You came here to pelt us with your questions and to hear other people ask us questions. Let's meet our 3 other players. Alex, tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you on the internet.
Yeah, I'm R. Alex Murray, Cosmic Traveler and Seeker of Truths. I am a Brooklyn-based actor, comedian, musician, children's musician, podcaster, and jack of much nonsense. I'll plug one of my many podcasts. We'll plug Mystic Lasagna right now. If you'd like to hear me and my friend Paul use Garfield comics to do psychic readings, then you can check that out at Mystic Lasagna. Anywhere you get podcasts. We have a lot of fun. Yeah. Now
Awesome.
I talk about the game.
We'll do that in a second. Let's
Cool.
meet Sarah/Phil/Dookie. Phil, tell us who you are, what you do. No one else can see that but us. Like it just shows.
Oh
your
yeah,
name
yeah. I'm
the-
on my wife's laptop.
Yeah. So tell us who you are, what you do, and where people can find you on the internet.
Yeah, I'm Phil Doclo. I work with John DeCampos and Terrible Games. I do game design stuff, and I also run a metal record label in Baltimore called Grimoire Records. So check us out, grimoirerecords.com, all the social medias and stuff, and yeah, that's the majority of what I do. I do some theater work with the Baltimore Rock Opera Society. Bros is another fun thing to do when live events are a reality.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my main stuff. I don't really have too much of an online presence, so don't bother looking for me. It's not very fun.
Don't try to find me. Last but not least, special guest for this session just was somebody had pinged me, one of our friends who's doing a Zine Quest project, and was like, hey, I noticed that these people talked about my zine project, and then I noticed that they talked about yours, and I went and watched it, and it was absolutely enjoyable and hilarious. We have Vic with us today. Vic, tell people who you are, what you do, and where people can find you online.
I'll do it better this time. I'm Vic. I am Washington Heights based. I was in Brooklyn for years. I was in really bad noise bands for the last 10 years. As soon as COVID started, my illustration work for bigger publishing didn't really pan out. So I actually started an online RPG program, and I've been running that very successfully with teens and adults for a pretty long time. I do homebrew on Mondays on Dice Drinks and Drama's channel, and we will be rebranding into Death Row soon, which will have a lot more of my flavor into it. And you can find me at Major tomorrow.
Awesome.
Cool.
Vic, we're just going to stick with you. Tell us a little bit about who you play, like what your experience of playing Repugnant was. And if you have any questions for John, I just toss them out.
Of course, I had a great time. if it wasn't clear from my descriptions, I am a huge person that is all about when descriptions are asked for by the person who's running the game. And I feel as though as a game design component, that was an awesome experience. I really enjoy that. The way that the advantage component almost works in this. I was a little confused about chits in general. But like once we started rolling, I understood it and I really enjoyed it. My biggest question, I think, would probably be I'm trying to think of a good one. I saw this masterworking thing, and I'm just like, one of the things that I had a harder time imagining is like, what kind of weapons you imagine are the masterworks of like, have any of you come up with something that's just like, this is the most top tier masterwork we've come up with while just chatting about the game?
Because all of my playtesting is just mathing stuff out and making rolls. And so for a zine weight game, like for a bigger game, I would like run lots of like for Token Terrors, John ran hundreds, if not thousands of, playtests. His Token skirmish game. That was a great walk by right there. for brand standing, my brand building game, like hundreds, if not thousands, of actual plays, of like playtests. With RPGs, there's a lot of just like, hey, conceptual, and then I'm going to roll math a whole lot to see if the math works out and the bell curves work out and the narrative works out the way that I want it to. So I don't know that anybody's actually made a masterwork because we haven't done campaign play yet. So what you're talking about though is, so every class has one or every mutation has one static ability. You just get it. And it has one set of scaling abilities, of which there are 4 you can get at any, like right from the beginning, and then 1 you have to get later on in play, and you have to unlock like 3 of the scaled ones first. You get good enough at stuff. The garbage man is an item maker who just whips stuff up out of trash and detritus all around them, has an emotional weird connection to it. But every single one of the master abilities, like that top tier ability, they're all basically, here's a little bit of flavor, and then you and the GM or the collector just negotiate what the actual effect is, right? And so for that, it would be like, I'm going to create an item, and it may be by gathering stuff over time. It may be, here's what I want to do. Okay, well, for that, like we're going to do a couple small things to lead up to it or whatever. You know, you can narratively work it in however you want, but then at some point you actually just like say, okay, here's what I want. Here's the things I want it to be able to do. And then it's kind of just negotiation process. There might be a throw involved of like, okay, let's go ahead and throw your disgust just to see how well you thought up crafting this thing. Or let's throw your shame to see how well connected you are to this item. And so, you know, it could be anything from like, I want a shield that just floats around me and blocks stuff. It could be, you know, like I want a fart gas propelled like harpoon. Like it could be literally whatever you want it to be. And then the GM and you would just negotiate what are the specific effects of that. You know, usually for those higher levels, it's like you're going to add 3 chits. Like it's going to be a really powerful item that basically becomes a signature weapon. For the garbage man, they can get destroyed, like, or lost or abandoned, and you can make another one if you want to. So you don't lose the ability. You just lost that one, and okay, you've got to wait till you can summon up the shame that you need to summon up that other one, right? And so we have not had anybody make one yet. If you want to, if you want to suggest a few, I'm happy to include them in the final version, because we'll have a couple of example ones that we drop in there for people. So.
Vic, I thought the sledgehammer of Dookie was pretty good. I was envisioning like a Clayface kind of situation where like when you need it, it like crawls up your arm and like forms into hard poop weapons, right?
With that said, I was thinking of like there's like this holy fatberg that kind of exists below the sea that you almost conjure, and that's where it comes from, but it comes from the inside of your body as well. I did not mean to cut you off, John. I was
no, you didn't cut me off at all. You're good.
Yeah. No, like I said, one of the reasons I was just like super excited, like I watched your excitement on stream the other night when you were talking about it, and I watched your 2 co-hosts like, one was who was like pretty neutral, the other one was like, I can't even look at this. I spent 5 seconds on the page and I had to pop off. Like, and you were like, no, it's straight nasty, and I love it. And so, no, like I said, and that's the thing. Like, John and I have been talking since the get-go. Like, this is a project that really like 5 seconds on the page or the first 30 seconds of the video that we have tell you whether you're going to enjoy this game or not, right? And so I always tell people that the cost of admission just for the art that John has done is 100% worth it. And if you're a designer, if you're a game designer, the system itself is going to be really phenomenal and cool and fresh. But like, even if you don't like this theme, it's still worth, like, I would say it's still worth getting. If you love this theme though, like, it's like, come on home, right? Like, come on home. Yeah. Like, let's all wallow in the filth together. So, but yeah, no, I loved it. And I loved how, like, I loved that narrative process also. I loved how for you, it was like, I'm obsessed with cleaning up the dog shit. And then that became like, and then I've got to clean it. Oh wait, this entire place is just, okay, I'm just going to stick it in. And then at the end, it was like, I summon a giant mallet of dog feces and it hit the monster with it. Right. That was like such a great evolution of the narrative process. And so, awesome. Any other questions? It's okay if not. If you think of more, you can toss them out later also.
No, I was curious about more of shame because I feel like we weren't able to utilize shame as often, and I want to hear like the bigger thoughts on shame as just a choice of action and also like life. I like that there's a cost related to the usage of a lot of the stats, which is fantastic, and I always enjoy when you can run out of the battery of a certain stat.
Yeah.
But shame was fun. I just really enjoyed. It's less of a question actually now that I think about it, because and this isn't a criticism, but you go through as many Kickstarters as I do, and you're just like, I can't look at another Powered by the Apocalypse Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And I love the games. Don't get me wrong. Some of my favorite games are Powered by the Apocalypse, but being able to have stats exist in a way that is depletive is awesome. And I thought that was excellent. And I would have loved to hear more about what the shame can be. And I'm excited to see how shame plays out and more actual play and just in if I end up being able to play it with people. The only
Yes.
problem with people.
So shame is like, so there are three sets, like revulsion is physical, disgust is mental, and shame is social. Where you guys would have primarily used shame would have been with the guy that Phil very smartly like creeped up in his face and hypnotized him, right? Like that's one of the major in this kind of this shorter version of the module was really intended to be like, this is a guy you can negotiate with and try to get stuff out of. And then Phil was like, yeah, I just mind control him. Like, and so with my stank breath, like that was one of my favorite moves to write the language for. The other one that no one's playing a glutton that was my favorite move to write is Sweet Sweat. And it's the first one that I ever gagged at when writing. Like, and so that was your sweat is a potent spice. And you can wipe yourself down after exerting yourself and then cook a meal using your own flavor that will and it's the only healing move in the game. So it's an incredibly attractive move that gives everybody 2 meat or 1 scuzz point back on the spot. And so everybody eats a meal that's really seasoned with your sweat, and it's delicious. And they get a little bit better because of it. And it was the first thing I ever wrote that was like, this is amazing and horrible at the same time. And so, but shame would largely be used when you're making social influences. You guys were not, you got information in my mind in OSR systems is relatively free. Like if somebody doesn't have a reason to be hiding it, there's no reason. Just let people talk through it, right? Like, or suggest talking through it. There's no reason to make a roll unless the player's like, I don't know what I want to say. I want to try to get this. Cool. Then you roll, right? Then you're going to roll. But otherwise just let's role play. And you guys were doing a phenomenal job with that. So there was zero reason to ever roll shame early on when you guys typically would have. And then like the garbage men just roll shame all the time. For the most part,
I was scared to choose glutton for the exact reason you just explained.
Yeah,
I feel like the viewers would have gone down to 2, and I wouldn't stop. I would just keep going. You all would just be like, "No, calm down."
Awesome. So Phil, this is you. I know you're usually the one designing terrible game systems. Thank you for letting me step in and take that on. I'm really excited to have you on and playing with us. Tell us about your thoughts about playing Duty.
Man, I had a great time. I liked. I feel like when there's so few like governing factors, so few stats, there's so much more versatility, and everything felt like very open and it was a lot of fun to explore. With only those 3 scuzz factors coming into play. I really liked the idea of having, I guess the olfactori was like sort of a spellcaster in a way, which is something that I don't usually play, but just looking at like what each of the abilities were, that was what spoke to me the most. Thought it worked really well with the very original feeling Roacher class or race. Just that all of these visuals were so visceral and everything that you could really flesh out the world and everything very clearly.
Yeah.
That was super awesome. Yeah, I guess my only questions were gonna be like, what was the grossest thing that didn't have to do with mechanics, because it all seemed quite straightforward to me, except for the fact that we weren't making the rolls and I wasn't very familiar with the flop and the chip
Yeah.
system. Um, yeah, but you handling all of that just made it really easy for us to say this is what I want to do, and yeah,
Which-
you're the god around here. You determine it.
The system is designed so that players can look at what gets thrown and know whether the GM's being straight with them at about 85 to 90%, right? Like there's enough there's enough to it where the GM could be like, all right, it landed on this symbol and that symbol. Here's the gross things that are in play right now. Do I want to boost things or take things down because of that? That's a little bit more like there's a GM fudged of 10% built in. But the players will know because everything's in the open. And like typically the GM the collector doesn't roll at all. It's just like player roll, player roll, player roll. Like when I was rolling against attacks, like I was rolling your meat to see what type of damage they did based on a number that I gave them in advance to like that you had to beat in order to do it. And if you beat that number, you took no damage. If you had way lower than that number, you started taking more damage. And so like having low meat really makes you a very squishy character, especially early on. I think we'll probably bump the meat up a little bit across the board just to give that a little bit more of an even feel. I messed with it a couple different ways. Like that was actually one of the last additions to it was like the meat and feet thing. And part of it literally was like, I wrote down like, I was going to have HP and I was like, what are we going to call it? And I was like, what if we called it their carcass? I was like, what if we just called it meat? And then I was like, and then I don't want speed, but if we're going to have meat, we have to have feet.
Yeah.
So
meat and feet is, it's so, I love it. It's very clever and it's very clear what it means, I think. But yeah, I think you had initially given me like a 0 for meat, and then I only got like the +1 for being a level 3, I guess. So I guess starting out, I would have no health or something.
Yeah,
There's a
I'll have to go back.
you
I'll
have
have to
a
go back
character
through
with
and
nothing.
finesse that a little bit to just make sure that, like, we'll have to eliminate 0. So we'll bump everything up so that we can eliminate zeros, basically.
Yeah,
so
at least
like
starting at 1.
everything will go up 1, basically, meat and feet, and that'll level us out and get us to the point where like everyone should be starting with 2 or 3, which means against low level creatures, you're only ever going to be taking like 1 hit. Like you're not going to be taking like a huge, like you guys would not have survived the Etchy also too, like it's an incredibly strong creature. Like you guys could have gotten rid of it, you could have chased it off, you could have done any number of smart player things to defeat it and complete the quest. But if this concept had been straight up fight, like it would have been like
Maybe.
Yeah, when I realized that Drux took 1 damage from going down a slide, I was like, well, I don't think I should really do anything. Maybe I'll hang back and spread some slime around and be ready. Yeah, but
cool. Yeah. No, it was, like I said, that was one of the later pieces, but it actually rounded out the system. One of the choices John and I talked about early on was like no even numbers of things. Like we went with like everything's odd, mostly 3s and 5s, like non-standard stat arrays. Even like the triangular chits, which this like the chits will look like cooler versions of this. Like there'll be a little drop on this side, and then it's like 1 hit, 2 hits, right? Depends on where they land. Like they're very, very cool. But the triangles actually worked really well because they land. Like round things roll. I tried it with octagons, it was better. And I just had these sitting around and I was like, that's cool. Also, we're doing a whole lot of stuff with 3s in this, so like it's got a really good feel to it. And then John had like the idea for like a Triforce type symbol on it too. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's been an absolute like blast to figure some of that stuff out. So
I think for the table presence too, it'll be cool because it'll be at the discrepancy of the group. If they want to have the heap in the middle of the table and people can all grab the chits and throw themselves, or have the collector throw on behalf of everybody. But for that, those action moments where you want to have some determination over where the stuff lands, the players will be able to just like grab the chits and throw them themselves, which will be cool.
Just handfuls of stuff flying all over the place too.
Yeah,
It's
hand
fun.
chit.
Well, and the concept of like
sort of
grab 8 chit. You've got a lot of chit. Like here's how much chit you need. Like those are all fun things to say. Even like you guys can't see it, but like there's a couple of things I'll show the audience. Like there's like even a yes or no factor to the board. Like if I don't know what I want, I can just throw a chit, And this one landed on the exclamation point side instead of the X side, which could mean if there's a 50-50 chance, I just say yes. There's also a couple other subdivisions that let us do some probabilities where I could be like, okay, these are the probabilities. If it lands in one of these in this array, yes, it happened, right? But I also never have to tell the players which one they're aiming for. I can just say, yeah, throw shit on the heap and let's see if it happened or not, right? And
really
so there's a really cool ability by the collector to give the players all the function of throwing everything, but them having no knowledge for random chance things about whether it was successful or not. Which is just a really cool, like rolling a D20 or D6 and knowing you failed a roll. Like lots of people just get over it, but lots of people can't. And it also ruins some of the play to know one way or another. Like to not know as a player is one of the most fun things, but it could also feel like your GM's screwing with you, right? And so to have it be like, I'm the player, I'm throwing the chit, but I don't know what the end result was. I just knew I threw it. It's a cool interplay.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was how that casting system worked.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, for you guys, most of the time when you're making flops, it's just like what side was facing up, like how many hits did it give you, and if it landed on one of the on a type of disgustingness that mattered for that roll, then it influences like bonuses or negatives. But other than that, it's there's a lot of cool little subtle things you can do with it. And so, Alex, what up?
Yeah,
you played a Slimore meat set.
Yeah, I did. My fucking Northeast liberal elite yuppie Slimore. I interestingly, I kind of came in with the opposite energy of Vic. I was kind of worried that this is not usually my flavor. I don't super duper go in for like really, really disgusting weirdness. And like, I guess, I mean, Vic kind of broke me with the wolf transformation descent, and I was like, okay, we're here, and like, and it dropped me into it, and then started having fun. But like, just to your point about like, if this is for you, you're home, or like, even if it's not quite your flavor, like, I think give it a shot, man. I had a lot of fun. Just being descriptive and gross. So that was a good time. And I guess I've done a whole bunch of streams of a whole bunch of new games this month. And like, I guess it's nice to come to a new game that feels rules medium as opposed to rules light or rules heavy. And like, there's enough going on. And I also, full disclosure, I did not know the rules when we started, and I feel like I know them now. I feel like I understand, like, just like playing and figuring out as you go along. It's pretty accessible, and the sort of like giving everything like spell slots is very neat, that you can just decide whether or not to like, okay, this is a powerful move or not in this skill was dope. Yeah, and there are like just enough powers and specific things to like really have a lot of fun with. I don't know. I was the last person to pick a character, and I just picked the one that was left. I was like, all right, I won't double down on any of these things. And I don't know, Slimore seemed like Ranger Roguey. I don't know if that was the idea.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, I'll do Ranger Rogue. Not usually what I play. This sounds fun, and I'll shoot snot webs from the back, and it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then there's like with the meat sack gets you a little bit of that human variant jack of all trades feel, right? I felt very even stat wise, and I don't know, this is a blast. This was a lot of fun.
Cool. Any questions?
I mean, I think most of them were covered. Oh yeah, no, I had the questions that I had were about the world. Like, how much have you fleshed out? I love like what you said in this session was probably used to be the Earth, and is that about how much you've like lore wise fleshed out the world, or do you have deeper things?
The crust goes down. I'll let John speak to that a little bit, because like it came out of a conversation we had after a game we had played that was kind of a post-apocalyptic thing, but we didn't want it to be post-apocalyptic. We just wanted it to be trash. So John, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a little bit more off the beaten path thematically, is instead of a world that is purposefully just like harsh and destructive because of like war and the post-apocalyptic setting we've all seen a bunch of times that is compelling, the world just kind of atrophied into this state of neglect that is like, that's put it into this place where it's not really anybody's fault. It's just the natural order of how things went because humans overproduced. Like, this kind of came from this idea. I heard this thing on NPR just before me and Tony started working on this, where they were saying that like for every human being on Earth, there's like 7,000 individual pieces of plastic. Just, we are outnumbered by plastic by like the thousands, by so many amounts. And
I mean, there's a big giant trash continent building in the middle of the ocean.
the Pacific Gyre is just turning. Yeah, that's happening. So like, I think, and then we were talking with the map maker last week about it. He was asking us about oceans, and I was like, nah. There's no ocean.
Solid.
Yeah, there's like some lakes that are like trash water. Like 3 miles down, there's some planetary form that was naturally made because of gravity. And then if you go up for 3 miles, it's just garbage on garbage. It's all like fossilized, sun-baked, like almost like concrete with just all these artifacts from bygone civilizations just baked into it. And yeah, I like the people who live here don't even have any living memory of the previous existence. This is their existence. Yeah. It's just garbage.
I'm realizing right now too, with how gross it is, there's not a lot of like rotting things. People aren't falling apart. Like, people aren't rotting. There's no like clock on it, right?
Yeah, like so there's a couple things at play there, which I don't know that we've actually come up with this is the answer, and I don't actually know that we will, because I think for me it's also like Alan from Gallant Games. One of the things he's like, he designs 90% of his games and leaves 10% off, like, which he was actually talking about mechanics. Like, sometimes he's just like, I don't know, we don't have movement, like, figure it out, like, but I think for me, world building is fun that way. Like, you design 90% of it and you make the plot parts feel really concise and important, but then like, how is everything still in shape? Because like, and you tell me, like, is it because like spoiler alert, like part of the world building things that we have figured out, like, so there's two branches of what happened. There's the group that stayed. Like I always say, it's like WALL-E if a bunch of people stayed and evolved into a bunch of different forms of people. And then the people who went into space just got super hygiene obsessed and were the exact opposite. That does come into play and is in the lore. Like there's one monster guy who looks like a Mr. Clean, like sealed up dude. And that's one of the space guys, the disinfectors, who are coming back down because they're running out of supplies. So is it because they've just been dumping stuff on the planet still? Maybe. Like, is it because new stuff is getting produced? Probably. Like, it's not, like, there's not green spaces, but are there plenty of banana peels still? Are there plenty of apple cores? Like, absolutely. How? Great question. Like, tell me. Like, tell me at your table how any of that works. Like, it doesn't matter for the world purposes, because that's not the intent behind what we're creating.
Nice.
And so yeah. But a lot also is like John and I like just. Like, I'll ask a question and John will be like, I think, and then it'll be like this long stuff, and I'll be like, cool, but we need like a sentence. So, write the sentence, and it'll be like, we can do that, but it also means we have to do like da 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 da. And so a lot of the reality is like just kicking it back and forth, right? Like this kicking back and forth, and then at the end sometimes we say like, well, we just don't know. Like, and it's okay that we don't know. We don't need to define all that because it's a 40-ish page zine.
There's some, I think that we'll have enough introductory language that people can have some elbow room creatively to be like, to kind of fill in the blanks, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody, Damn Fine Cup of Streaming says trash archaeology and trash geology has a lot of potential. Like, we were halfway through because I was thinking originally I was approaching it like as mostly a surface narrative game about gross stuff. And then there was a point at which I was like, holy crap, if there's this deep crust, there's just so much prime dungeon crawl material that like going into a heap of trash, going down into the crust, like all these things. And you're no longer asking the question of like, why are these ruins here? You're just like, everything is ruin. Like the entire planet is ruin. It's all just one giant ruin. And if you want to dig down into it, there's stuff there and you can go dig through that stuff. Right.
Yeah, I've been thinking about the like like at the end of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 or 5, there's this big showdown inside of this like auto wreck yard where a bunch of cubed cars are making like this coliseum. I want something like that. It'll be like a labyrinth that's made out of cubed automobiles, but it's all underground, and like there'll be some sort of big bad with like a magnetic crane that's operational for some reason that'll do all kinds of crazy stuff. I want to do something with a maze that's a bunch of like cars crushed into cubes.
If you don't mind, I had a bit of a response question to most of the settings specific things that you all had brought up and the world that you built within this session.
Sure.
Because it seems as though there has been a slight transition in prioritizing contemporary technology as we know it. So it seems as though the sustainability factor of the world itself is able to sustain itself because there isn't like giant factory farms or something like that from what I've heard.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, of course the atmosphere is able to still exist because it seems as though at one point, whatever chose to be like, hey, maybe we should go back a little, because the bar even itself felt a little tavernous rather than like some like bar you went to that has like outlets plugged in everywhere. I don't know if I'm just projecting with that, but that's the way that I understood how the atmosphere still sustained itself with a map of garbage.
I was definitely hitting Western vibe with where we were at. Like, so it's definitely pre-electricity. However, like the concept is like you go out into the wastes, right? You go out into the, like, yeah, there's small villages there and there's not electricity. If you're in the city, yeah, is there electricity? Sure. How does it work? Great question.
Methane gas.
You know,
methane gas. Yeah.
Methane gas. Like, what, like hydraulic pressure, because there is planetary fluid. Like, we don't call it water. It's just like the liquid that is on the earth that is just all the like. I love the diaper squeeze because that's exactly the type of like, that's what the earth is right now. Your description of like squeezing out that diaper is how liquid on this planet works. And it's like, what is liquid? I don't know. It's brown, it's green, it's like black. Like, you tell me what it tastes like. Like, that's it. Like, that's it.
Hurt doing that, man.
And so
but we're also like,
that was beautiful.
Yeah. There's also a little bit, there's also a little bit of room for like unchecked mysticism in this world as well, because like, so there's this big booger golem that's featured on the front of the cover of the zine, and we've been saying that like it's powered by this obsidian rock that's shaped like a giant nose called the Phlegmnite stone, that is just the source of mucus. It is just the
well, that's the Slime Wars like big ability that you get is you get a little snotmunculus, right? Like eventually, which is got to be, there has to be some sort of spiritual power there. And clearly, I was messing with that too with my booger slinging.
100%. Yeah, it's meant to embrace like a lot of the feeling of fantasy tropes, but it was the same thing. Like, every one of you guys was like, well, I don't normally play this type of class, because it's not just like, yes, is the olfactory a wizard because they cast smellomancy? Absolutely. But are they a wizard? Like, I mean, like, really? Or are they somebody who uses farts as a source of power, right? Like, is the pizza face a rogue? Kind of, but like John played a pizza face Hoggo who was also a tank. Like, like they have the ability to shoot these shots, which gives them powerful like offense abilities, but they all can also blend in. And so, like, you don't usually play rangers, but you played it like a shooter instead of like a ranger until the very end, right? So it's just, there's enough to kind of pick up and say, like, these are some tropes we kind of baked in here a little bit, but none of them are essential, right?
Man, or whoever in chat.
Sorry, I was just gonna say we tried not to make them not super duper on the nose.
Yeah, the explore the 7-layer dip of this dip sepulcher is excellent.
Yes. Yeah, like somebody said something about like the science of it would be fun, but also like whatever cults emerge in this world and mysticism.
We haven't world built any religiosity, but one of the things I talked to John about from the get-go is I'm a big fan of hacking, especially in zine culture. And so like I as much as I love my last game, Beards and Beyond, like we've got a monthly campaign we just launched into. Like, I'm so excited to be playing it. I'm so excited about the narrative things that I built into it. covered in shit as a system, I don't know that I'll ever make something better. And I don't say that like in a sense of like, oh, I'm bankrupt of ideas now. I'll still make plenty of fun things. But it also is just fairly singular in what it is. But I also know we've just barely scratched the surface of it. And like the next game I want to make is a one page is the hit sheet and the other side is just the rules, and just make a 1 page covered in shit system. That's just something you can do. And we just want to kick it out. Like people are like, can you make vomit nights? We could, but you could. Like you could make vomit nights. Like, you know, like yeah. Do you want to make a cult? Do you want to make trash panda people like who've got pouches instead of tails? Like let's just kick it out. Like so yeah, there's a thing in design culture called jams. So as soon as when we're about to go to print, because it's about the time we'll have the SRD finally done, or the system reference document, if you're wondering what that means, like how to hack it. We'll probably do a jam. It's just like, let's just kick out a ton of extra stuff, but like just, you know, put it on other people's itch, let people do what they want to do with it, create a setting, create a cult, like, you know, and drop them all on the crust, and it'll be a blast. So excellent. Satisfied silence and Vic laughing at something we can't see.
It's like trying to figure out, like I'm building it in my head. Like
right. So yeah, I want to see Dan Fine cover streamings, 7 layers of this dip sepulcher. Like I want to see like all these things come into being. And you know, there's a lot of granularity we could get into, and like we'll have tables of trash in the book, but the dumpster diving process literally is just general descriptors. It's like something sticky, something greasy, something, you know, you can whack someone with, something that's sharp. And it's like, you tell me what that trash was, you know, you tell me what it was you just found down in there. And that to me is way more satisfying than like, here's a list of like 10 cool trash ideas I had that may not fit with what you need at that moment or satisfy your player's desires at all. And so,
well, now that you guys have played a little bit, if you guys have any cool ideas for monsters, hit me up.
Yeah. So right, we'll go ahead and finish up right now. We just popped it out, which Vic, I don't know if you're a backer. This is not pressure at all. I hope.
No, I am pretty sure somebody else backed it for me as a present.
Tell them you want it all. No. So they. But I was going to say, you should, anybody who's watching right now or later should go to the campaign. Even if you're not going to back, there's in a number of our updates, there's surveys that we put out. So you can submit trash that will be on our trash tables. You can submit monsters right now. We just put it out earlier today, and you don't have to come up with all their things. You can just be like, here is what we call them. Here's what they look like. Here's how they behave. And then we'll refine that into the little stat block we're going to give all of them along with the art that John's doing. And you get your name in the book if you create things so that we pick. Like, and so we did it with monsters. We did it with the trash, and we did it with naming our mascot Fartholomew Repugnant, whose backstory had a word in it that I refused to read on stream, and will get slightly edited, but was absolutely phenomenal. Also,
really,
too.
Yeah.
So,
Y'all killed it with the mascot thing. That pulled me in full Coney Island.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
John's just been going crazy, and that's like anybody who hasn't gone to look at, just like you can see a little bit of the art around the edges. The art is 100%. That hit sheet is like this hit sheet that you guys can't see right now, but people are on stream. This thing is so like gorgeous. I actually I was at my parish yesterday, my church, and I was doing an event for them, like socially distanced, but I was like, I need this printed out on green paper. And I just asked the priest if he could print it out, and he was like, "What is this thing?" I was like, "It's this thing for a role-playing game we're making." He was like, super excited and into it also too. But like somebody was like, I'm holding up the bottom of it right now for people to see. We popped it in a couple like game design groups, and there's this elemental blast coming out of his anus, and somebody was like, "Oh, like that's placed in a really weird spot. You may want to move that so it doesn't look like he's farting." And I was like, I don't think you understand this game at all. Like, I think what you think is a bug may actually be a feature, and you should look at everything else that's on that page. And then they were like, yeah, no, I see it now. And I was like, okay, great. But no, John's been killing it over and over again with all these different pieces. And so our big goal right now, we'd love to get to 5K. So we can get that map done. We're talking to Ryan Latino, who did the Old Roads Kickstarter. It was so good. Just a book of just great location maps. Who's going to do a section of the crust for you guys to be able to wander around in. If we get to $5,000, that'll be a print product for anybody who got the encrusted edition. It'll be digital for everybody else. I looked at that cost-wise. That's not going to work.
Ah, damn it.
There was a cool folded up version of the map that looked like a crumpled up thing, but it would have been $1,500 to produce 250 of them, which is the lowest number we could have done. Yeah. So,
all right.
so it'll be 11 by 17. So it'll be a big old fold out map for you to see some cities on. And then if we get to 275 backers, which is the big thing we're looking for right now at any level, we're going to have 20 new pieces of art that come out. In addition to the ones that John created for the campaign tonight, we'll create about 20 more that do the other race combinations and mutation combinations, but with faces of people in the community who are supporting and sharing that. So we dropped some information about that today in an update. We'll drop more information about that tomorrow. We would love for you to back. You don't have to be a backer to do any of those things. Anyone can do them. We would just love to have you participate in whatever way you can, and would love to have you be a part of the world. So with that said, it's late. We've been on for a minute. That's the longest interview we had because people ask me questions and I like to talk. We've been playing Repugnant. My name is Tony Vicinda. You can find everything we do at +1exp.com. You can find Terrible Games online at tokenterrors.com or terriblegames.com. Which one's better?
Tokenterrors.com or terriblegames.info.
There we go. Terriblegames.info, tokenterrors.com. You can find all of us at all the wonderful places we already said. But I still don't have a good way to sign off on stream, so we just wave at the camera until I take us off of live. So let's all do that.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Do the fart thing.
Never been able.
Oh, wait.
Like
I
my
forgot.
knee.
We are going to go back live again. Hold on. If you're still there, hopefully you are. I forgot to hit the prize. 10 of you guys are still rocking out with us. Close giveaway. Close giveaways. Entries have stopped. Let's see who's going to win. Pick winner. Tally Wart. If you are on live, did Tally win the other day? Was that somebody else? Does anybody know Tally Wart?
I do not know Tallywort.
All right, Tally Wart, if you're on, you should have gotten a message. If you didn't, we'll follow up with some people later. I'll stow all these till later, but follow up with me. Just shoot me a message on Twitch and get that conversation started. But now, until next time, I'm just going to wave at the screen until we go off.
Little doggy paddle.